And we are live. Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake. Help you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another Monetization Monday. And so today on the stream, we're going to be helping answer any and all of your questions about YouTube monetization. We're going to help you get monetized on YouTube fast. We're actually going to give you the no BS advice you've been looking for. No fluff, no fake guru nonsense. We keep it clean here, and we make sure that you know the things that you want and need to know to grow a successful channel. Now, if you're not familiar with me or you're new here, I'm Roberto Blake. I'm a public speaker at events like VidCon, Vid Summit. I'm a creative entrepreneur, public speaker, best-selling author. I've coached over 800 YouTube content creators. That is a real gold play button from one of my clients, several silver play button channels as well that we've helped grow. And I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm what we affectionately call an OG YouTuber. So I have a formal background, in case any of you cared, before YouTube in the world of advertising and marketing. So I actually got a lot of my experience there, came to YouTube later in my life. I'm 42 now. So I came to YouTube later in life, grew my own channel before teaching anybody. I grew it to 100,000 subscribers. I've helped people grow their channels to full-time monetization. And a lot of what we do is actually help people a lot with their brand deals and sponsorships, especially getting longer contracts, 6 to 12 month contracts instead of just those one-off brand deals. But what we're going to focus on is that early stage monetization for YouTube in the partner program. We will talk and answer questions you guys might have about brand deals and UGC, because what I want to point out to you is the real amazing opportunity for YouTube content creators, especially with the new update they did to the YouTube partner program. For those of you who don't know, aside from them changing the requirements, they did a new expansion to YouTube Shopping and YouTube Shopping Affiliate. And so there are people like our good friend Larry from Home Rapid Repair who are crushing it with YouTube Shopping Affiliate. And a lot of them don't realize, a lot of people don't realize, YouTube Shopping Affiliate used to require having 20,000 subscribers. Then they moved it down to 10,000 subscribers. Then they moved it down to 500 subscribers. So even with YouTube's big recent change, the YouTube monetization, and then in February for the full ad revenue and YouTube AdSense, you're going to need 8,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers for YouTube Shopping Affiliate, which pays you a commission, and YouTube fan funding, YouTube channel memberships, YouTube Shopping merch, all of those things, super chat, super stickers, jewels, all of that is actually for only 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours of watch time. So YouTube lowered some monetization requirements and they raised the ad revenue requirement. Here's why that's not the worst thing in the world to happen for small YouTubers, is that if you struggle to get the YouTube monetization requirements in the first place, here's the truth. And no one wants to hear this, but it is absolutely true. You would not make meaningful AdSense money anyway. Now, I know some of you say, well, Roberto, even if it's making $100 or $300 every 2 or 3 months, that's meaningful money to me. It adds up. Not for working 80 hours a month, though. Think about that for a minute. If you do YouTube and you're doing serious YouTube, you're spending 10 to 20 hours a week in your free time on the content, right? So every week for a month, that's 40 to 80 hours of labor. And then if you're struggling to get monetized, that means you're struggling to make $100 a month and get paid out monthly from YouTube, from ad revenue, from AdSense. That 10 to 20 hours a week, 40 to 80 hours a month to only get $100 is poverty wages. There's no way to call that meaningful. That doesn't make much sense. And I get that you're a small YouTuber and like something's better than nothing, but I really want you to think about the value for that money. If you were monetizing, though, with these other ways of earning, you could make that money much faster for less hours invested. And so that's kind of the key to this. Yes, I want to help you get the 4,000 hours of watch time before February 1st, 2027, when they have the 8,000 hour requirements, and we will break all of that down. But I do want to remind you that early monetization still counts. It's still a YouTube paycheck. If you're like, well, I want to feel validated from the YouTube platform. It wasn't even about the money. It was about just getting paid for what I make as a content creator. What does it matter if that's ad revenue instead of affiliate commissions from YouTube Shopping? What does it matter if that's ad revenue instead of YouTube paying you for super chats or memberships from people who like your content and want to support you. What's wrong with monetizing your audience? You're not saving them money. Oh, I don't want to take money from them. Cool. The millionaires and billionaires that don't need it as much as you do will have no problem taking their money. That like $5 a month to support your content, I don't think they can buy much besides one of these big bottled smart waters, not sponsored. Just me being hydrated and being healthy and getting jacked. Like there's like what are you gonna buy in America for $5 that doesn't make you fat unless it's bottled water? Like what are you gonna buy in America that doesn't make you fat? So that $5 donation in a super chat that someone spends on a content creator, you weren't saving them any money. That money was going to be spent somewhere. Will it be spent with you or will it be spent with somebody else? Will it be spent with you or one of these famous big YouTubers? Will it be spent with you or with a $1 billion corporation? Who's going to get that $5? Who does it go further for? So don't hold back anymore and think you're doing anyone any favors by, oh, I don't have anything to sell you, or I don't want to monetize my audience. It feels icky. Look, you can say you're doing it for the love of the game, but in this economy, if you tell me you're doing it for the love of the game, just tell me you're not being serious. In this economy? Come on. So what I would say is right now, the opportunity to be a small YouTuber actually is really good. It's really solid. I don't actually think it's been a better time to be a small YouTuber because back in my day, you couldn't get brand deals even if you had 30,000 subscribers. They wouldn't even send you free product. Like, yeah, so like back in my day, they just were not giving free product to people even with 30,000 subscribers. You can get free product at 1,000, 5,000 subscribers now and be good free products. I'm talking things that like $150 retail, $250 retail. What you guys need to understand is that these free products that people send you are the beginning of you getting your paid brand deals. Not just because you could get paid by these brands later, but yes, you could use it for your content, make money on the ad revenue or make money on the affiliate revenue. But the thing is, if you can make this your portfolio of content when you review a product, like let's say I was a small YouTuber again. If I was a small YouTuber again, the thing that I'd be both good at and passionate about, because I had a background in photography. I was actually a photographer, and I mean like a paid photographer. I was doing wedding gigs, but also when I was a teenager in the mall, I worked at Sears Portrait Studio. So I'd take the photos for people. I take all the family photos, their passports. We do the backdrops for them. For the families, I'd organize the families by the heights. I'd, make sure the kids are standing still. I'd make the babies laugh. I would do the baby portraits. We do all the things, right? So I worked at Sears Portrait Studio. Then I would do wedding and engagement photos. I would do a little bit of photography for local businesses. So I was a paid photographer back in the old days, right? So I'm like really into cameras and camera gear. I have all of the YouTube cameras that people could think of, both the professional cameras and the vlogging stuff, right? So in fact, actually over here, I got my big boy camera. This bad boy, this monstrosity, this is what I use for my hobby. My hobby is actually wildlife and landscape. So I use this bad boy. This is an A9 II with a 200 to 600 millimeter lens on it. So yeah, you can imagine the affiliate commission for that camera and that lens at these prices. Just the affiliate commission for either of those, one sale on that will make me like 200 to $300 if one person takes it seriously. At that point, 10,000 views is not enough money to make up for one commission. Even at a high RPM, 10,000 views would not necessarily be the same as just getting one commission if I sell a camera or a lens at that price, because you're talking about an over $3,000, $4,000 camera body and a like $2,000 lens. The commission on that is significant, okay? So like, let's say I was a camera reviewer and I was doing that. Just having the affiliate commission from that will make me more than if I got a ton of views. A ton of views will not make me nearly as much money as that, because even at a high RPM and with cameras, it wouldn't be $10, but let's say it was $10. If I got 10,000 views, I make $100 in ad revenue. But if I sell even one camera lens that's expensive, I'm probably going to make like $180 off that lens. I'm going to probably make $260 off of that body. So I would be better off if more people just bought with the affiliate links. And if I got 10,000 views, it's possible that I got 5 or 10 sales at those high commissions. So instead of worrying about YouTube paying me $100, the affiliate revenue could pay me like $1,000. And when I was a small YouTuber, I did tech and tutorial content and I did camera reviews. If you go back to the oldest videos on my channel, you're gonna see a lot of tutorials, some where I didn't even show my face for most of them. And you're going to see a bunch of camera reviews that got like 50 or 80 or 100,000 views on them. Before I ever told anyone how to grow a YouTube channel, I was helping people with photography and video and graphic design because I was making money as a freelancer. I was doing that full time and I was shooting commercials and editing people's videos and commercials for brands for YouTube. I was doing photos and posters for people's trade show booths for them to sell their products at trade shows and events. And I was doing that work and I was doing print and digital as a graphic designer and making people's ads. And I was also managing ads because I was Google AdWords certified. So when I say the things that I'm telling you about a professional background where I made money on YouTube, I made money because of YouTube, and I made money working with people on the brand side of things that had real businesses and were doing retail businesses or service-based businesses. So like with YouTube, if I was starting as a small baby YouTuber today, and I got 500 subscribers and I got to 3,000 watch hours for the monetization, I would be I'd be a camera YouTuber or a tech YouTuber. And I'd be covering like the gadgets that I already own. I could probably make most of that content on my iPhone 17 Pro Max. This would be good enough. I could do it slightly cinematic. I could do it vlog-like. I could do it talking head. I could do product shots. I could do overhead. I could do everything with this camera between this, even the front-facing camera. I could do everything with this camera, and it would be actually very simple and affordable to make really good content and to make it profitable by covering gadgets and things that I'm passionate about and that I own and making the affiliate commissions and demonstrating the camera gear. Like I have the Osmo Pocket 3 here, and I have like an accessory and a cage for it, and I could like make money like promoting that. So those are the kind of things, and I'm gonna bump up the brightness on this camera a little bit because I think it's a little dark there. Yeah. So like that's the kind of thing that I would make my money on. And the thing is, now I know not all of you want to be a product review channel, but I'm saying even a lifestyle channel, whether you're a beauty YouTuber or you're into fashion or you're into travel, could accomplish a lot of the same things in terms of making more money from the affiliate side. But here's where it gets interesting. That affiliate stuff and the YouTube shopping affiliate especially, and that side of it, not only would it make more money, but it'll get you the brand deals because you will have a portfolio of content that you would have made, especially if you're making some of this with your phone, by the way. Like, you will have made the content that will be your portfolio of work to get UGC deals. UGC is a type of sponsored content. It's user-generated content. So with UGC, unlike affiliate commissions, you'd be making content on behalf of the brands. And this is actually even how I make some of my money right now in terms of sponsored content. Sponsored content doesn't always live on your channel. Sometimes sponsored content, and I'll come back to this, Larry, sometimes sponsored content is not just on your channel, whether that's you getting the sponsor or YouTube doing it through Brand Connect, which now they've called creator partnerships. They turn that into creator partnerships now. It's not about that. It's that you could go onto their TikTok, their Snapchat, their Instagram, their Facebook, and you will have given them the content. They own the rights to it. You're licensing the rights to them for exclusivity and such. They have the ownership, but they pay you up front, and you don't have to worry about the views at all. You don't have to have a view guarantee. You don't have to have a performance guarantee. You're being paid to be a model and spokesperson. Those of you who are old enough, like you might remember the Neutrogena girls. Like whenever a breakout star, female star would come out, she'd become the new Neutrogena girl. So she'd be a spokesperson for Neutrogena and star in the ads and be on the billboards. Or like for you younger people, Sydney Sweeney right now with American Eagle. She's a spokesmodel for them. So being a spokesmodel, spokesperson, that's basically what UGC is. And again, the reason that's different, well, Roberto, isn't that just an endorsement? And isn't that the same as sponsored content on my YouTube channel? No, it's not them. It's not about your YouTube channel. It's about they need you for Instagram because that's the new billboard. Or they might literally hire you to be on a billboard. I was put on a billboard by Kajabi. Kajabi, the online education platform for you to sell courses, coaching, cohorts. It's what I use for Awesome Creator Academy. They put me on a billboard because I was a success story where I grew a six-figure business. It's done almost $900,000 in revenue in the last 8 years, going on 9 years now. And so they put me on a billboard because I used their tool, I used their platform, and I made almost $1 million using their platform. And so they put me on a billboard to tell my story. They also put some other creators on those billboards. I'm the one who stayed loyal though, and didn't go to the competition when the competition offered me a bag. Not naming any names. But so that's the thing. So I was a spokesperson for Kajabi. I was also hired to do in-person activations. And so that's another thing you could do is you could do UGC. So it's not just about, oh, my reach on my YouTube channel. Are you the type of person that is the right look, the right voice, the right story to be the person that they want to put on billboards, that they want to run on their ads, that they want to put in the TV ad or spot there, the social media campaign, or even the in-person activation or the booth at an event. And I've been paid to do that from companies as well. So when they pay you to do that, that's another way of doing it. And you don't need a big audience or reach, but you do need to be the right fit. And being the right market fit, having that right audience market fit, being the right ambassador is so much more important than just having the reach and having a good reputation, no scandals. So that when people say, oh, who's that? And they Google you, nice things come up. That's also extraordinarily helpful. And you don't have to be huge in order to accomplish this. So I want to make that very clear. I know people, there are some of you in the chat, and feel free to share your stories in the chat or in the comment section. There are some of you that have worked with brands on this type of thing while being a micro influencer or a nano influencer. It is much more important. I'll be honest with you. If you are charismatic, professional, and you happen to be at least moderately attractive, you have a better chance of actually getting sponsorship in terms of UGC, brand deals, activations, and being a spokesperson than if you just had very significant reach, but you were none of those things, but you somehow managed to get reach, and maybe you were just funny and had that personality. It's like, but you're not the right look and feel to sell the product. They'll pick someone who's the better look and feel to sell the product than someone who just has a bunch of reach and goes viral. And that's just the truth, because there is also a component of we're selling the prestige or the lifestyle, or we're trying to sell this is the type of person who buys our product. So there is that aspect of it. And that is a part of this that nobody wants to talk about, but it's absolutely true. It's also faster money than waiting on AdSense. And it doesn't make you beholden to a platform, because when you build your portfolio around this stuff, especially those of you who make short form, it's not about whether short form pays you or you get kicked out of the AdSense for the short form content. It's about the fact that when you make YouTube shorts, you can make those Instagram stories, you can make those TikTok reels, you can make those Snapchat stories and highlights, and you can make those Facebook reels as well, or you can post on X. Is an opportunity to have more reach, or for a brand partner to see you, or for a brand partner to then know they have a campaign in that other platform coming up, and they need a spokesperson or an influencer or a group of those people for that campaign. And campaigns run monthly in many brands, and they also run seasonally and quarterly. So this is the opportunity, and you can make that money, and you can use your YouTube channel as the portfolio for getting paid hundreds or thousands of dollars per engagement, instead of getting and worrying about getting little chiclets, little shillings of dollars for per 1,000 views. This is the difference between passing over dollars to pick up pennies. And I'm not downing AdSense. I'm telling you that this is faster in many cases. It's larger dollar amounts. It can be more frequent. AdSense pays you once a month. That's hard to budget on. No one will talk about that. It's hard to budget on YouTube AdSense. But if you know you got a lot of checks coming in from different places, you have checks coming in from the Amazon influencer program from like, marketing and selling stuff. In volume, I could move a lot of these DJI microphones because now these mic minis, there's a whole dual set of them for like $50. A lot of people still don't realize that. I could sell a bunch of units of that and then get a check from that. I have my book on Amazon. I get royalty checks from that, and I get multiple royalty checks because I get it from all the other countries that the book sells in. Plus, I get the audiobook royalties. So you get an Amazon influencer check. In my case, I also get an Amazon KDP, Kindle Publishing check. So I get that royalty check. There was a course that I licensed. You can license content for royalties. I licensed a course to LinkedIn Learning in 2018. The checks used to be bigger, but I still get a check here or there from them. So I get royalties. It's kind of like when child actors talk about, oh, and I get these royalty checks, or, I get these, what do they call them besides royalties? There's a thing they call them besides royalties that they come in. But yeah, so they get that. And so those checks come in. You get multiple checks. So, okay, this check came in, this check came in. Oh, and now my AdSense check came in. So that's helpful. If you do YouTube shopping merchandise, let's say you say hats, t-shirts, hoodies, you sell merchandise of some kind. That check, YouTube lets you get distribution for YouTube shopping merch, but they're not the ones who pay you out. Your merch shopping platform pays you out, and those usually pay out via PayPal or Stripe, or some of you have direct deposit. You can do withdrawals against that. So if you're doing withdrawals against that when you meet the threshold, if you're selling enough of your merch, you could be reaching the threshold every week if you make enough money off of the merch, and therefore you'd have cash flow. Instead of waiting on a once a month paycheck on the 21st from YouTube, all of a sudden you're cash flowing. You could be pulling out $100, $150 or $50 every week or every 2 weeks from your merchandise platform through PayPal. So you could do that, and then you have cash flow. You have income coming every week or every day if you're making enough of it, and that could be extremely helpful for you. The same thing if you have donations through something other than your YouTube donations. Let's say you had Buy Me a Coffee. Doug Hewson here, Larry, a lot of people, you have Buy Me a Coffee. You can pull those anytime you qualify. You can do the withdrawals on that. So if you have that money coming in, you have access to that. So having diversified revenue, multiple streams of income, diversification across your platforms. If you got money coming in from YouTube and TikTok and X, I'm in the X Creator Program. Almost every 2 weeks, I'm getting about maybe roughly, I want to say, through the revenue sharing on X, the revenue sharing pays me out like $200 to $400 every 2 weeks. So I actually make really good money on X, believe it or not. And then there is the subscription memberships. I don't have a lot of people for that, but then that pays me every once in a while. So I do okay with that. And now they're doing this original content initiative, plus there's X money and people can send you donos. I don't really think a lot of people are going to do that, but people could do that. And then, so I have money coming in through X, and you can repurpose content across your platforms. You can be YouTube first. You don't have to be YouTube only in terms of your distribution. I'm about to be monetized on Spotify. We take the replays of these live streams and we're putting them up on Spotify and Facebook. And so then I'd get checks from those platforms. And that's also, we multi-stream. So this idea that you need to live and die by YouTube AdSense, it's got to go. Like, we've got to move past it. I'm happy to get you to the 4,000 watch hours in the next couple of months, if not weeks, and to walk you through that and answer your questions. But in the meantime, there's no reason you shouldn't be making money right now without the AdSense. You should be monetizing every inch of your content. You should be making all the money you're capable of. Again, in this economy, I don't want you out here doing this for the love of the game. We're here for serious content creators. You want to do this for a hobby, that's great, but this content probably isn't for you. But because again, in this economy, I don't see the value in doing it for the love of the game. If you're not a kid, or if you're not retired or if you love your job, I guess you could do it for the fun of the game if you actually love your job. But if you don't love your job and you want to do something different, or you need this to work out for you and you need to take it seriously, then I suggest not thinking about, oh, I'm in the love for the game. You can enjoy it and you can make money. And why not make money off something you like better than your 9 to 5 job? So that's kind of my stance on it. But let's go to our friend Larry, who is like killing it with the YouTube shopping affiliate program, like absolutely crushing it. So Larry from Home Rapid Repair, YouTube shopping, you get the whole basket. I got $272 commission. Well done, sir. Because someone purchased a tractor. Hint, I've never made a tractor video. This is actually a good point. So like people can make money with YouTube shopping on products that they didn't even promote. So if someone in your community with YouTube shopping and Amazon influencer even, if somebody clicks on a link for your affiliate link for Amazon or YouTube shopping, and let's say they bought something else instead of the thing that you promoted, you'd still get that commission. If they clicked on your link and you were the last affiliate link they clicked on and they buy something else just browsing, you still get that commission. You still get that commission. Swear to you, you still get the commission. So just having the affiliate links exist is an opportunity to make money. And most people don't know that. Most people will not tell you that. Most people don't understand it. But that's how it works. You can get commission even if they don't buy exactly the thing that you were promoting or that you called out, as long as they clicked on your link and then they made a purchase within 24 hours. Some cookies are 30 days. You get the credit. You get the commission. It's yours. So like that's a real thing. So great opportunity to make money. A lot of people devalue this. Something we're not going to devalue though is our supporters. Thank you, Brat6, for the 10 Joules gold coin. Appreciate you. And then we have Pure Vibes Kitchen with a $4.99 super chat. If you get a free product, do you need to disclose that every time you use it in a video? I got a knife and I have a cooking channel. Not necessarily every time. Definitely the first time. Arguably, if you just happen to forget that, oh yeah, this is one of those gifted knives, then you can, it's not a big deal and YouTube's not going to care that much. The audience may not even care that much. What I would say is this. If you know that there's a lot of gifted products in your stuff or background and it's that brand, just say, oh, also just want to shout out this brand. They've sent me so much free stuff that I forget what I bought and what they gave me. But they're a great company. I spend my own money with them. They've definitely supported the channel before. And if you're wondering where I get my XYZ, I get it from them usually all the time. I've got a link in the description below if you want to check them out. Great quality. You see me using them all the time. Just something like throwaway like that. That's just earnest. Again, because the goal is just sincerity. I know that people like to obscure this with legal mumbo jumbo, but here's my thing. My thing with disclosures is it's okay if you don't get them perfect. Because like for my thing is some creators are like, no, every relationship, everything that makes you money must be disclosed or you're scamming your audience. Or like I'm not some ethics hawk. I'm not some ethics hawk and some ethics zealot. Someone will twist that and say, well, you don't care about ethics or you don't care about being honest with the audience. No, I don't feel the need to stress a creator out all the time to demand that perfect be the enemy of good intentions. Perfect execution every time does not need to be the enemy of good intentions. I think that someone can just in good faith try their best and make an earnest and honest effort to do disclosures. And if they lapse here or there because there's just so many things or so many rules, or they are flustered or they're on camera and they're live, or they forget their lines and then they forget a disclosure, I don't think they need to be strung up for that and beat like a piñata on the internet by somebody who is never, ever going to buy something because somebody on the internet told them anyway, because the screaming ethics hawks of, oh, you got to disclose everything, or oh, you got to label this, or you got to, it's like, they don't really care. I think they're just angry people who just need somebody to string up and beat like a piñata that day. I don't think they actually care about the ethics violation or audience trust or any of that. That's just an excuse for them to scream at somebody through the internet. That's what I believe. I don't believe it's in good faith, because someone in good faith would say, hey, yeah, honesty with the audience is important, but like if you forget, you forget. Like, I have so much stuff on my desk sometimes that it's like, it'd be hard for me to remember every single time, even with a mind like steel trap like mine. I'd be like, wait, which one of these did I buy and which one of them did they send it to me? Well, it's like, it's not the big of a deal. Now, going out of your way to purposely hide a relationship from your audience in terms of brand relationship is a different thing. But if you're not intentionally trying to mislead people, and then you either just misspeak or you forget, or God forbid, you say something is gifted and it's not, and it was the other thing, or it was the other company, it's not the end of the world. Just do the best you can. It's not the end of the world. And if you forget, sometimes you forget. And again, it's just about making sure the audience knows something that they would want and need to know that would be genuinely important to them making a decision. And the thing is, a lot of the times, that's not the reason that they are or are not going to buy something. I promise you. Like, the fact that, like, because there's not like that big of a difference in my point of view from a brand giving you something and then that's why you use it, than your husband or your mom giving you something and that's why you use it. I don't think that that's that big of a deal. I understand that there's a different legal category for it and that people make that, but think about it. You may not be in love with something, but you have an emotional attachment to it, and then you using it all the time, someone else decides to use it then, like, they still don't know the full scope of your true feelings on that because you're using it because your dad gave it to you and he's not around anymore. And when you use it, you think of him. That doesn't mean it's the best thing in the world for them to buy. It's the thing you use because that was dad's. You know, that's like a real thing. So I understand where people are coming from. I understand the implication of this influencing someone's buying decision. But here's the other thing. Even if you spend your own money on something and then you review it, you still have a bias about the things you say about reviewing it. For me, for example, Sony didn't give me any of this camera gear, but Sony has flown me out to have one of the best experiences of my life in Montana at Glacial National Park a couple of years ago. So I okay, do you guys really need to know, or do you really feel like the only reason I would ever share Sony products with you is because like 8 years ago, they flew me out? 8 years ago? Think about it. That's like, so you should disclose that relationship with Sony. It's like, you mean that they flew me out to something 8 years ago? So that's like, that they said nice things about one of my photos of my camera, and they used and posted a photo with my permission that I shot of my camera and my camera lenses on a glass table, and they used it on one of their accounts like 7 years ago. That like, oh, so I'm gonna give them unlimited free publicity and a biased opinion and never talk about another camera company, like how much I love DJI, who's never sent me anything or flown me out anywhere. Oh yeah, I'm gonna really do that. Like, it's that kind of thing, is that some people take things too far and they go way too far on that and they don't use common sense. So for you and for your cooking channel, I think that you should just, do the best you can, make a good faith effort to talk about when things were gifted. I mean, all my Sony camera gear, I bought it. Like, yeah, I've bought every single piece of Sony camera gear. There's other things that have been sent to me. Aperture sent me lights. I don't think that light is even here. I think that the light they sent me 10 years ago, the main light they sent me 10 years ago, is in my library in the basement for those shots. It's not even this main light behind me or anything. Like, okay, they sent me something, whatever. I can't remember if the lights I'm using right now on the desk, if these are the ones Elgato sent me or the ones I bought. I honestly cannot remember. So I don't even know. And I wouldn't sit here every stream and say, oh, this lighting brought to you by Elgato every time, because I don't even know if they gifted me these or if these are the ones I bought. It was so long ago, I don't remember. I do believe that most of the backlights for the light strips for the bookshelf were probably gifted to me. I don't think I've mentioned that in every single stream. Those were gifted to me 5 years ago. So yeah, so for those of you, again, I think that to the best of your ability, at least the first time you feature something on your channel, you absolutely need to disclose that it's gifted. Do I think you need to do it every single time you use it after that? Absolutely not. And I don't think you'll remember to. So I don't want to put the pressure on you to try to remember something that's not going to be a big deal anyway. So that's just my thought. I know some people will disagree with me. I know some people are lunatics about ethics and disclosure. I think the answer is more of the spirit of the law than the letter of the law. So that's where I stand. I'm like the spirit of the thing rather than the letter of the thing. Cozy BL Recap says, of course, we're talking about years ago now, but I did buy my first camera because of your review. Okay, then that was probably a Nikon camera or an early Sony camera like an A6600 or a ZV-E10 or a ZV-1 most likely. That's what I need. Let me make a video and you guys do what you want with it. Yep, absolutely. Totally agree. That mom with a laser says, couldn't agree more. You don't have to be massive. You just have to be effective with the numbers you have. 100%. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Hi, Brooklyn Beauty. Appreciate you being in the chat. Let's see. Yes, cross posting is super effective. And the word I was looking for, besides royalties, was another R word, residuals. Thank you for that, Ben Abe. Appreciate you. The Artist Haven says, I personally use Ko-Fi and Fourth Wall as a membership program too. Yep, you can do memberships and you can do your merchandise through Fourth Wall. So that's actually incredibly powerful. And you can do memberships and donations through Buy Me a Coffee. GZDR for Ev says, and I think I'm pronouncing that right, from Twitch, says, would taking ad dollars that conflict with your personal beliefs outweigh who your target audience are, the advertisers are going for? For instance, taking big ad dollars for alcohol ads if you don't drink, but your audience might. It depends on your reasons for not drinking. It depends on your reasons for not drinking. If you are promoting in yourself, like a super sober lifestyle, or you were a former alcoholic, that would be a conflict of interest. If you're like me and you just don't prefer to drink that much socially, then it wouldn't be a big deal. For example, like me, I probably in general, just because I personally don't necessarily advocate for vices, but I'm like, I'm not gonna never have an alcoholic beverage again, right? I have a wine collection. I actually have a very robust wine collection. So of course I'm gonna probably have a bottle of wine again at some point. But generally, I've been in workout mode. I've been in super fitness mode. A lot of you know I've been on this massive fitness journey. I completed a 100-day challenge. I'm about to start another 100-day challenge. It's been really good for me. Part of that was also cutting alcohol, but I had also already done that a while back. Last girl I went out on a date with, I was like, hey, it's like, I can drink, but I don't really want to or don't really have to. But it's like, if you want to, it's okay. And she was like, no, I don't need to drink either. It's like, it's fun enough just being out. Like, that's a thing. So like, okay, cool. Don't need to drink. But that doesn't mean I'm never going to drink. So for me, it's like, if I didn't promote the, hey, be super sober all the time and never drink, if I didn't promote that lifestyle, but I'm also not a heavy drinker, there's not some conflict of interest if it's just a preference. You're allowed to promote something that's not a preference. Now, if it's something super personal, like if you're talking about beliefs, there's a difference between a belief and a preference. If, for example, you have some higher moral or religious reason why you're not drinking or smoking or doing something like that, then yes, taking ad dollars for a lifestyle that you don't live or don't promote or advocate for that you're actively opposed to. And it's not merely a preference. That's different. But I need people to be careful about their understanding of what's the difference between a preference and a belief. I have a preference for, I have a preference for doing vices as little as possible or not at all. I'm on the category of I'll probably do them as little as possible. I don't smoke cigarettes and I never have. I've never indulged in recreational drugs. That's a preference I have. It's not an adherent, devout belief that I have to not do those things. It's a preference that I have as far as a personal thing where I just would rather not do that. I don't believe in surrendering control. Alcohol is not something I feel represents that same struggle, and it's socially and in the business world at meetings and something like that, something you do. And I actually like and enjoy wine. And I learned a lot about culture through learning about wine and spirits. And so it's not something that bothers me. There's a lot of things culturally where being Caribbean Latino, you have alcoholic beverages at celebrations and you do that. It's part of culture. So of course that doesn't bother me. But I'm not also about people like getting drunk and overindulging and doing blackouts or like constantly knocking back shots. It's not my thing. So the thing is, for me, for example, there'd be no conflict in me promoting a beverage or a spirits brand or launching a wine label or doing something with like Gary Vee and a wine club or anything like that, or hosting a solar with fancy wine and things of that nature. Like I have a wine and tea bar, a wine, tea, and coffee bar in my library downstairs. So people would see that and they'd see my sake glasses and my, my setup for that, for doing Japanese sake, right? Now, if it was cigarettes or tobacco, then that'd be different because I'm openly against that. So if I did like a thing with a cigar brand and I took their money, then that would be a conflict of interest and principles, and that would be hypocritical, and that would be like, that would be the betrayal of a principle that I've actively and openly advocated against, for example. So that's when you shouldn't do something. If you've actively like advocated in principle against doing this thing versus you just stated a personal dislike or a preference for it, then that's not a problem. A simpler example of a preference is I've already stated I have a preference for Sony cameras, but I am fine with like promoting a DJI camera because there are things that DJI cameras might do differently or better, or that works better in your ecosystem with your drone. So it's like, I thought you were a Sony guy, ride or die. It's like, yeah, but DJI does something different. It's a different category. It's still a camera, but it's a different camera category, and that's fine. Or Fuji, I would still do stuff with Fuji because I'm like, yeah, I've loved Fuji. Or, oh, I started with like Sony and Nikon. I can promote Nikon. Or, oh, Canon did this really interesting thing that I like. And I've used Canon before. I own a couple of Canon cameras. I own a Panasonic camera. I was a Panasonic shooter for a while with the Lumix line with the GH5s and the G7. G7 was the first 4K camera I shot with. So there are like situations where it's not hypocritical or conflict of interest to work with a different brand if you don't have brand exclusivity just because you have brand loyalty. I have brand loyalty to Sony, but that's personal. But it's not like I've never had brand loyalty to Nikon or Fuji or DJI. So those are the things. On the camcorder side, I was doing Canon camcorder stuff, and my uncle Gilbert was a Canon guy. I was a Konica Minolta guy before I was ever any other camera. So Sony bought Konica Minolta. So it's that. I wouldn't not do something with Kodak if it was interesting. So that's what I mean is like you have to understand what your boundaries are and what your own ethics are. There's not a default, here are all the ethics that will ever matter. Here are all the ethics that everyone agrees to. No, not everyone agrees on what ethics are or what they should be. Mostly, we don't even agree on some of the basics of it. That's why I don't like ethical arguments or ethical stances as if they're granted as a blanket default, or when you say, oh, that's unethical, it's like, to who? Or when did I agree that those were my ethics? Like, I know y'all bloody well don't want everyone held to my ethics. Do you realize how much of the world would have to burn? Like, if we all went by what my ethical standards are, there'd be fire and brimstone and like horsemen and like dragons and all the things. Like, Westeros would burn. Like, the Seven Kingdoms would burn. Be Aegon the Conqueror out here real quick. Like, there's no way. Roberto does not tolerate BS. Like, you realize how bad it would be? So no, we don't all agree on ethics, and we don't have to. So you have to just be consistent in the ethical standard that you portray. You just be consistent in the ethical standard portrayed. By the way, you're allowed to evolve on what that standard is. You're allowed to change your value system. You're allowed to change your value system. Me, I became much more strict in my value system as I got older. As I got older, I became much stricter about what I tolerate and what I don't tolerate. I set harsher boundaries for, like, hey, being in my life, this is what this looks like. This is what I won't put up with. Hey, here's the level of disrespect that I won't accept. And the bar is lower now. It's like, yep, the disrespect bar is like, oh, I don't tolerate. I'm not nearly as patient as I was. Not nearly as patient. So that's how it is you can, by the way, same thing for your career with YouTube. You could be like, okay, I would tolerate this from a brand, but now I won't tolerate that anymore. I set this boundary. Or, oh, I would tolerate this and let people have their way with the comment section or the chat. Okay, I'm not going to anymore. This is my boundary set. This is my value set. These are my rules now. You're allowed to renegotiate your boundaries anytime you want, and people either comply or they don't. And then you set whatever those consequences look like within what you find to be reasonable. That's what I would say about that. It's great. It's a great premise for a question, or for like just to kind of set some things up in terms of like, where is the line in terms of working with a brand and your values. There are brands I've not worked with because I didn't like what they put out into the market, either as a product, or I don't like the way they conducted themselves in social media. So there's that. I don't care about, the way I will say this is, I am so incredibly jaded and cynical about politics that I think that it's all theater, which means I do not care about the politics of a brand or what their political alignment is, because I think that it de facto is usually performative or theater, or they're lying, or I know it can be renegotiated for enough money. I know for enough money, any brand will probably renegotiate their politics anyway, so I don't care because I don't believe them. So for me, it's like I just roll my eyes. I know everyone does not feel that way. I know everyone doesn't feel that way, but I've watched brands my whole life. I worked in advertising, for Christ's sakes. I worked in advertising, meaning I worked in advertising long enough to know better and to not like trust that of, oh, we believe in this and these are our values as a company. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, sure. And what's the dotted line say? What's the fine print? Like, what's the fine print say? Like, yeah, no, so I don't believe, like, I believe when a brand says our values are blah, 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 blah. I like asterisk. Like, again, I'm being hyper cynical, but I'm being real with y'all and I'm being honest. So I base none of my brand, like affinity and values on what they say their values are. I watch how people move. So I go off of that, and I go off of how they treat their employees, how they treat the customers, how they conduct themselves in social media, how I find people to be at the brand activations, how I find the good people work at the company when I see them, and how they handle people at the booth, how they handle people, the customers, how they handle even navigating controversies or giveaways or things of that nature. So I watch how a brand operates and who works for them and how those people handle their reputation. I watch those things, because everything else is theater from my point of view. But again, I'm being incredibly cynical. But I've worked in advertising and marketing, so maybe that would be why I'm incredibly cynical about that. So yeah. Cozy BL recap says, same here, you evolve as you learn more of people in the world. Yeah, absolutely. They say all the world is a stage at the Airbenders. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. All of the world is a stage. I think social media has made that more true. Even for the average person, I think the world has become very much a stage. And people can do with that what they will. The real Christian Holic asks, doesn't AI tools or do AI tools have the ability to edit videos for creators now? It depends on the level of editing that you want to do, and it depends on what your expectations are. For very specific and simple things, I think it can be very good. The one I'm looking at right now, a partner I work with that I'm sponsored by and partner with, is Opus Clip. They've made a tool called Agent Opus, and I think it's quite good. Opus Clip, as you know, does your editing in terms of your repurposing of your live streams and your long form and your IRL content, and it can reframe the widescreen and do the editing of doing the reframe for you and make that vertical video. And it also can do the tracking and switch between cameras and speakers. So it does that part of the editing for you for clipping. So it's a great clipping tool. It's a great repurposing tool. So it does that editing. Not Agent Opus, AI Producer from Opus Clip takes that further, and then you can actually do motion graphics and edits and prompting and do that all by typing in what you want the edit to be, and it will take your footage and it will do that accordingly. It will not work miracles, but it's actually quite good. And if someone does talking head short form or does product videos, it's actually perfect for that kind of thing. Will it handle video game content? I don't think not so much, but it's excellent for a lot of these other things. So I'm very optimistic and very bullish on what AI Producer does. And obviously I'm sold on what Opus Clip does for repurposing short form. And then you should take that short form and then use the scheduler that it has. And then the scheduler will post that to YouTube Shorts, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, LinkedIn if you have LinkedIn, and so on. So you can post to 6 different platforms, 10 accounts. And so it's incredibly powerful when it comes to the clipping and repurposing, including the motion tracking and AI motion tracking. It'll save all the time in the world. It can do this in like 5 minutes instead of you taking an hour for a piece of short form, and it actually be what you need it to be and be good. AI Producer does something very similar in terms of if you needed to do certain things, add motion graphics, add other elements to it, make changes, clean up the audio for you with a push of a button. The audio cleanup is amazing. And a lot of people really suck at the audio cleanup part. So I would say that it's incredibly helpful for those things. Now, in terms of artistic editing, cinematic editing, I don't think AI tools are there yet, but most people, 90% of creators don't need that. 90% of creators need the mechanical stuff, the boring stuff that they don't even like to get out of the way, and then they could add those flourishes later. Most creators don't even like the editing part, and everyone says, "Oh, well, you should," or "Oh, don't be a creator," or "Don't use AI," or da 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 da. And I think that's stupid. I think it's gatekeeping. I think that most solo creators are working class people with a 9-to-5 job, working 40, 50 hours a week. Some of them have kids on top of that, have other adult responsibilities. Expecting them to say, well, if you can't be the YouTube artist I think you should be, that you shouldn't make content in the first place. I hate that nonsense. I think it's gatekeeping. I think it's stupid. And I think that no one needs to care about their opinions. And I don't care what software you use. I use Adobe. Everyone thinks I'm evil because I'm supporting a company with a subscription model with my own hard-earned money. And I've been supporting them with that hard-earned money for over 20 years. Okay? I use Adobe. I've been using it for 20, 25 years. I'm 42. It's what I know. I'm not leaving. I don't care that they raise the prices. I don't care that someone's whining about paying the price of a latte every day to have $3,000 worth of software. I don't care. Oh my God, I'm supporting the most evil corporation in the world. It's grow up. So yeah, I use Adobe. If someone wants to use DaVinci, you think I'm bothered? No, I send them to my friend Daniel Batal so that he can teach them how to use DaVinci if they want to use the free version of DaVinci. If they want to use Final Cut Pro, I'm happy to send them to somebody that's a great Final Cut Pro editor on the platform and can teach them. You can use whatever software you want, and I won't be offended and I won't be bothered. If that ends up becoming an AI tool, I'm a Photoshop guy. If you want to use an AI tool, I'll tell you what the best one is. I think for thumbnails for YouTube, 1 of 10 is really, really good. I think I have a link to them in the description if you want to use them. We also, mods, could you throw a link for 1 of 10 into the chat, mods, and we can get people that. They do sponsor from time to time, so let's hook them up with a link. They're the best AI tool for YouTube thumbnails, And they also help with the other ideation and packaging process. They're an entire ideation system. And I think they're very good at it. I think they're better at it than most companies. They're better at it than TubeBuddy by far. I think that they're better at it than vidIQ right now. And I think that a lot of people, if they want the cheapest option in the world, it's probably ChatGPT. In terms of an AI tool that will make you a really good set of YouTube thumbnails, it's probably ChatGPT. So I don't care what tool someone wants to use. If it makes their life better, it makes them more efficient, it makes them confident to make content. I just want you to make content that you feel good about and that you can potentially monetize and that allows you to work within the lifestyle you have. I'm not going to tell you that you have to stretch yourself or make your lifestyle harder or stretch dollars you don't have to meet my ethical standard as a content creator. I think that's pretentious. I think it's bullying, and I think it's stupid. So I'm never going to sit here and bully, oh, you used AI, AI slop, or whatever. It's like, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're probably, as a content creator, doing the best you can with what you have, where you are, and it's none of my business how you make your content as long as you're not literally re-uploading somebody else's content. If you're not re-uploading somebody else's content, how you make it, what you edit with, what you make your thumbnail, it's none of my business. We'll judge it on whether it came out well or not. We'll judge it on how well it performed. We'll judge it on how much money it made. We'll judge it on how the comment section feels about things and whether they're being good faith or not. And at the end of the day, even for whatever our judgment is, you don't have to care. You can make something for yourself if you want to, or you can make something because it makes money and it supports your family. And if you're not breaking any laws, you're not breaking the platform rules, you're not stealing as in uploading someone else's video, I do not care. So you can make things however allows you to make them and make them with confidence. And as long as you're making something you're happy with, I don't have to like it for it to be valid. I don't have to like your content for your content to have a reason to exist. Your content does not have to exist to meet my standard. Home Rapid Repair, shouting out Joe's Phenomenal, says, Joe, you have an incredible channel and congrats to you for posting content planned so far ahead. Amazing. Impressive. Most impressive. So yeah, let's check out the chat. Hey, what's up, Shark Scrapper? Shark Scrapper says, I'm not smart enough to use Adobe. Thankfully, Camtasia is easy for us knuckleheads. I love Camtasia. I use it for my screen recordings a lot of the time. Camtasia is amazing. It's excellent at what it does. I have great things to say about Camtasia and the TechSmith team. They've always been nice to me at events. They've always been incredibly kind. One day, maybe it'd be great to have them as a sponsor for the channel. Yeah, no problem. Matt Miller's PC says, going back to quantity over quality has been the best thing I've ever did. Actually, that works out for a lot of you, especially when you're trying to get monetized or when you're trying to increase your monetization. This is actually a fact. A lot of people, what they're doing now is instead of even choosing between the two, a lot of people who did their main channel and they went quality over quantity are spinning up second channels. And a lot of them are making smaller second channels, posting a lot of content or posting daily, and they're making more money on their quantity content than their quality content, and it's not close, for less hours, for less time involved, with less hassle. And a lot of people are coming around on this because the quality that people keep stressing them out about is made by YouTubers with a team. And solo content creators or people who just have a thumbnail guy or gal or a video editor are stressing them out, trying to do the work of a 10-man team to meet what they were told was quality content standards, or make bangers on YouTube. And it's a 10 or 20 person team, and you by yourself or with two part-timers are trying to keep up and compete. Keeping up with the Joneses is like how you burn out. It's how you blow money. It's how you break down, and it's how you destroy your channel before you get to enjoy it. So for a lot of people, just doing what they can do consistently keeps them in the habit, keeps them making money, keeps their audience growing at a rate that's sustainable and can get them opportunities. And that's why quantity over quality for smaller channels tends to work. And it's not about churning out garbage or slop. It's about here's the quality I can be consistent at with the time that I have. And if I raise the bar too high and no one will ever take anything less from me, or they won't watch, or they won't stay, or I can't retain them, then you've made your content unsustainable. So what we're talking about with quantity over quality is we're talking about sustainability instead of swinging for the fences. There's nothing wrong with bunting, hitting a single, hitting a double. There's nothing wrong with getting on base. It doesn't have to be a home run every time. Those are people who do basically the equivalent of ego lifting. Clean reps, like I've been on a gym journey. I've been on a fitness and gym journey. Clean reps sustainably and doing volume of clean reps sustainably is better than ego lifting and blowing out your back. I'm 42. I'm older. No ego lifting, no deadlifts for me, no deadlifts to show off, none of that nonsense. That's performative. That is theater. That is not making anything better. Clean, healthy reps are best. Just clean, healthy reps, volume. Just doing clean, healthy reps, doing volume. It's perfect. Just do the calisthenics. Just do the body weight exercises consistently for volume, and you'll be okay. Like, that is real. And I apply that principle to so many aspects of life. I tell people that YouTube is not what they think it is. See, people treat YouTube like it's a lottery ticket, or they treat it like luck, or they treat it like so many things, or they treat it like it's an art project. Oops. They treat it like it's an art project. I say that you're better off treating YouTube with the mindset of an athlete instead of the mindset of an artist. And I say that as an actual traditional artist who did photography, mixed media, painting, and illustration, and not just digital. I did all analog before I ever did digital. Remember, I'm 42. I've been doing this a long time. I was developing film in the darkroom from the time I was 10 years old in the 90s. Okay? That was like 3 decades ago. So I have done analog everything before we had digital. I didn't have a choice. So like, I've done this, and I will tell you, even as much as I myself let perfect be the enemy of good, because that is the artist in me sometimes. I'm better when I don't do that. It is better to think like an athlete than to think like an artist when it comes to being a full-time content creator, if that is your goal. If your goal is to be a full-time content creator, you're better off thinking like an athlete, showing up as many days as possible, doing the work, ideally 3 times a week if you can manage it. If 2 is all you got in you, then that's all you got into. Think about it. What do they tell you when you go on a fitness journey? They tell you move and do some activity every day. When you're a content creator, make some movement and momentum on your career as a content creator every single day. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to post a YouTube video every day, but can you put out an Instagram story and connect with the people most tied to your personal brand every day with Instagram stories? You should probably do that. You should think of that as my, hey, I'm going to do my aerobics and calisthenics, or do my walking every day, or do my 10K steps every day. Hell, you could do it on your 10K steps. Actually, you could combine both of those things. So you could just think of your Instagram stories as the same thing as, oh, I need to get in my steps today. I need to get in some movement today. That would be doing daily Instagram stories. Or if you're me, that'd be doing Twitter every day, x.com or Twitter. So that would be doing that every day. It's some kind of way to interact with your audience, have some momentum going, keep that light touch. Okay. It doesn't have to be, again, this art project on YouTube. Now, when it comes to, well, how often should you upload your long form videos? I'm of the belief personally that for growth, for most small YouTubers who aren't rich, who don't have a lot of experience in video production, that you don't need to go and, oh, let me just make one banger every week, or try to make one banger a month instead of doing a bunch of little videos that do all right. No, do the little videos that do all right. Treat it like the gym. You're looking for growth. You're looking for momentum. You're looking for gains. Treat it like the gym. I would say the ideal world, you would be posting 3 times a week. Just like you'd be going to the gym 3 to 5 times a week. For growth, for most content, yes, entertainment, education, lifestyle. You say, I'm an entertainment channel, Roberto. If you're a gamer, I would honestly tell you post every day. If I'm being very real, if you could, you would be best served doing it every day. If that's too much, or you're like, no, I need time because I have this style or I want to do this. Like early on, your style doesn't matter as much as you think it is. You're being romantic. But if it's that meaningful, so be it. Figure out how to optimize it to get you into the equivalent of your gym, your YouTube dojo, 3 times a week. 3 times a week. That's what's going to grow you. That's what's going to build momentum. That's what's going to build familiarity. That's going to build good habits. That's going to keep you sharp, keep you fast. By the way, anyone who's ever tried doing a gym journey and ever just goes in once a week knows that it doesn't work. Everyone knows, okay, twice a week you can get a little bit of gains, but boy, is it much harder. Boy, is it slower. Boy, is it agonizing. 2 to 3 minimum, 2 to 3 minimum, and that's on the lower end. That's how it works when you're trying to get in shape. If you're trying to grow on YouTube, I would consider it the same. And if you're an entertainment channel, it just means you don't have to do this crazy performance every time, because the goal should be get good on camera. This whole, oh, I want to make quality content. Most of you can't be good on camera. I wasn't good on camera when I started. My earliest YouTube videos sucked when I started. The best thing you could ever do is show up as much as you can every week on YouTube until you stop sucking on camera, until you're comfortable looking at the camera, making eye contact, or doing whatever you need to do, and then stop feeling like a lunatic. Until you can comfortably vlog in public, you should probably do it every day, even if it's just on Instagram. Like, volume matters. Quantity leads to quality. And your favorite YouTubers who just like showed up and I made my first video, went big, went viral, ha ha ha. They're lying to you most of the time. Most of them did YouTube 5 times in middle school, deleted the channels out of embarrassment, made hundreds of videos that you never saw. So that, oh, this person only made 5 videos and they blew up. No, they didn't. They made 50, 100, 500 videos on channels they will never admit to you that they deleted in middle school. And now they're pretending their first video blew up, because the first video you ever saw. So I'm telling you, that's real. So like that can happen. Now there is a difference if you are legitimately an artist and you're making content about being an artist, that's different. But even a channel I watch whose her name is spelled really weird, so it's escaping me right now, but there's an artist in New York. She has an art studio and everything. She even figured out quantity over quality, because what she did was she decided to film lifestyle content around being an artist and not just make big process videos, but she would make videos on the journey to that by making vlog-like content. And it worked really, really well. She took like an artist, a mixed media artist approach to making like Casey Neistat content in New York, ironically. So she did Casey Neistat vlog-like storytelling content around her daily life as an artist in New York, and it blew up her TikTok, and it's like been crushing it for her. Her YouTube channel is doing better now. So there is a version of being an artist on YouTube, but that still looks like treating it like being an athlete. So even if you are legitimately an artist, you should still treat YouTube like being an athlete in a way, at least when it comes to growth. If it's purely about expression, you can do whatever you want. But if it's about growth, I highly recommend you do what gets you the gains. And so that would be show up the 3 to 5 times a week, and then also do daily activity and movement. Because remember, we don't just work, we do the weight training. We do the weight training in the gym the 3 to 5 times a week. We do 10K steps to 16K steps every single day. We do our calisthenics, our push-ups, our crunches, our pull-ups, and our body weight exercises, in my case, squats. And we do those reps every day. For some of you, what that will look like is replying to your comment section for 15 minutes every single day, 2 or 3 times a day. For some of you, that will be posting to Instagram stories every day to have the emotional connections for your audience. Or with me, it'd be writing my thoughts, stream of consciousness on Twitter every day. So that's your everyday movement or momentum for your channel. For a lot of you, for YouTube, it should be posting to your community tab every day. It should be posting like sponsor links in your other, from a revenue standpoint. Okay, making money. Let's talk about monetization. Monetization. You should be doing money-making activities every single day. You should be doing money-making activities every single day. You should have your other platforms so that every single day, maybe you're promoting your merchandise, and maybe that's not every day for your merchandise. That might be a little bit much. You know how much you should promote your merchandise? Like 3 times a week minimum, just like going to the gym. That's the moneymaker. If you have merchandise, 3 times a week, promote your merchandise. Use your YouTube community tab, use your Instagram stories, use your Snapchat, use Twitter, promote your merchandise. There you go, 3 times a week. That's how you make money. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Don't ask, don't get. That's how it is. Closed mouths don't get fed. All the things, all the cliches are true. Now, when it comes to your affiliate links, as long as they're different links for different things that you actually buy, believe in, care about, or that your audience likes, if you have Twitter or Facebook, you can promote that every single day, depending on how you want to go about it or how creative you want to be, and it's not hard. If you have Instagram stories, you can actually link that every day, promote that every day. You could also use your highlights, and you could add to your highlights from it. So that could actually be a constant money maker that way, and it would make perfect sense. If you have your email list, you could be marketing and selling yourself in your email list 2 to 3 times a week, for sure, just like going to the gym. So it's back to this whole how much gym, how much physical activity. That's kind of the approach you should use to the monetization aspect of your channel. If you are someone who likes doing live streams, I'd recommend doing them at least weekly, if not 2 to 3 times a week, but at least weekly. And then there's donations that can come in if you do that. You don't have to be a streamer, but if you're going to do it, I also recommend multi-streaming. I think that'd be good for you. So there are ways to go about that. The benefit of if you did post daily long form content to YouTube is that it would give you the opportunity to maximize the idea that there's a possibility to earn ad revenue every single day. And I did that for like 3 years, by the way. So we got Taste Bud Takeover. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate you. So Tasty Bud Takeover says, Roberto, as a how-to search-based channel, should I focus on getting the message across in the quickest, most effective way possible, or find a way to make them longer and more engaging to get more watch hours? I love this question, and you won't love my answer. Maybe you will. I love this question. The answer is both, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. Need some ginger ale. I love this question. So the answer is both. If you're solving something for a how-to person, there are multiple ways to solve their problem. One way is to give them the shortest version of the solution that exists. I do this. Larry from Home Rapid Repair does this. This is actually a really good concept for anybody who deals in DIY, product-based content. So tech, beauty, home repair, DIY, process videos, career videos, anything like that. Actually, even gaming, if you do how to play the game, how to win the game, how to beat the boss, whatever, you actually want to use this strategy. So you make the shortest version possible of the answer, and that solves people whose anxiety is, I don't know you, I don't trust you yet, but if you can get me the answer as quickly as possible, all right, I'll take a chance on you. So it lowers the barrier to entry to trusting content from a stranger if it's going to be the shortest answer possible that looks credible. Now, you can do the opposite end at the same time. So you've done one video like that. The next thing is make another video that is the detailed, complete explanation of the thing broken down step by step. So for example, if I were going to approach this concept, I can extract multiple videos out of this. Primary example, I made a video on how to edit green screen in Adobe Premiere Pro. The video is 90 seconds long. It's not a YouTube short. It is a horizontal long form video, but it's 90 seconds long. It did not do well when I first launched it. I have 600,000 plus subscribers. It did 1,500 views its first day. It did not get 10,000 views within the first 60 days. It is currently sitting at about roughly 500,000 views, 500,000 views, 500,000 views now, because it worked. And because it is, when they looked it up, the shortest long form tutorial possible. So how would I capitalize on that success again? If I made a how to edit perfect green screen in Adobe Premiere Pro step by step, and it was a longer, more detailed video, But instead of just rushing through it, getting everything super fast and everything I said, I explained every part of that process, including more setup for the lighting of the video, and showed this is what happens when you light it correctly. This is what happens when you light it badly. So here's an example of you did it wrong and how bad and struggle bus it'll be. And then here's what it looks like doing it right. And that video could be 10, 15, 20 minutes, but someone looking at that video would say, this is a 20-minute green screen tutorial, but there's this thing under 2 minutes. It just depends. Are you someone whose anxiety point is, I want to learn this as fast as possible? Or is your anxiety point, I want to get it perfect, and I never want to miss a step, and I want to understand it fully and completely? Those two different personalities trying to solve the same problem. So you make a video for personality A, which is, I don't know you. I just want to see if you can, no BS, give it to me straight as quick as possible, and can I do it? And I've already done that with the fast video, so people know I can deliver it fast. Someone else who says, do you know this thing inside out? Do you know this thing perfectly in excruciating detail? Because I need to understand it fully. I don't have a video for that person yet, but if I did, and I made a 15-minute step-by-step version or 20-minute step-by-step version, the person whose anxiety point is they want completeness, they want totality, they want to understand something fully. They don't want it to be, they don't trust brevity. They don't trust an abbreviated version. They don't trust it being short. So I make things based on the personalities that could exist across the problem. There are some people that will say, it's not enough for me to know how to edit this just because I'm an Adobe user, Roberto. I actually don't know how to light this video properly before I edit it. So for those people, I would make a how to film and edit green screen for Adobe Premiere Pro complete guide or complete beginner's guide. And that does something different. It tells, oh, that's for beginners. That's going to be accessible. He's not going to talk over my head. And it's, oh, it's what I need. It's the full package. It's filming and editing it. I'm not good at either of those things yet because I am a beginner. I am a newbie. I am a rookie. I haven't done it before. And so that third video even addresses a different personality than either of the two. Those two other people could overlap on this, but it's a completely different thing. But it's still the same problem, still the same information, still the same knowledge. So there's someone who, that short version is what they need. There's someone who's like, I need the whole video editing process. And there's someone who says, hey, I need the filming and editing process because I don't know how to do that. And so that would give me then 3 videos that solve the exact same thing in a how to search video. And there's a possibility that people could watch all 3 of those because they could be like, okay, I got that done quick, but now that I got it quick and I met my deadline, I really would like to understand this better. Okay, I understand the full editing aspect better. Okay, now I want to learn how to prep it for film and edit. And then there's a 4th video I can make. If someone watched this and they wanted to know how to edit it, they could also want to know how to film it, and they may need the filming part in isolation first, and they might want more detail and not just me doing the complete thing. So guess what I get to do? I get to do the shortest version of how to film and prepare a green screen and do that, the shortest version possible, and then a detailed version of how to set up and light a green screen video. So I get to set up the lighting and filming of the green screen video, and then that extends this now to 5 videos in the same how-to series, and there's overlap. They don't have to watch any of it in any particular order, but it's just I've covered the gamut of what's your point of anxiety for this particular problem? What's your frame of reference for this particular problem? And then if all those videos were successful, and I know that my positioning was for Adobe people, I can make that exact same series yet again and milk the same knowledge base and apply it to DaVinci Resolve and get another 2 or 3 specific videos out of that. And then Apple Final Cut Pro and get another 2 or 3 videos out of that, because the lighting videos will apply universally. So I don't have to remake those. But I do have to remake the filming and lighting for that application specifically, the editing fast and the editing complete guide for that same application. So I get 3 videos per application out of that. Plus I had the original base videos on just the lighting and filming part to overlap that. And so now I get multiple playlists, I get a complete series, and now I actually have ownership of the entire territory of a single problem. I own the entire domain knowledge and territory for a single problem. And that's how you dominate search. And then you move on to the next problem. And if you do this correctly, you can pick 10 or 20 problems your audience has, and now you have a library of 50 to 100 videos across 10 problems within a single knowledge domain that you completely own, and that's how you dominate. You're welcome. And that gives you short and long form content, like shorter long form content and extended long form content for that. And so that's an option. Some people also do something really wild, which I've also done before. You can make a 3 or 6 hour course and make it completely free for people. And then you can put that out, and you could put a considerable amount of ads in that in exchange for it being free. You could also have a sponsor for it in exchange for it being free, or even multiple sponsors that come together in exchange for it being free. You can also do what I did. Well, mine's a little extreme. I made a 12-part, 30-hour course on how to grow on YouTube as a beginner. If you're under 20,000 subscribers, is the only 12-week, 30-hour free course on YouTube that exists in the market. And it's right here on the channel. And people still don't know about that. I guess I could have promoted it a little bit more, but it's literally a 30-hour, 12-week course that teaches you how to grow from 0 to 20,000 subscribers. And it literally is the thing I throw in the face of every single person who whines about me being, oh, you're a course seller and everything like that. I go, oh, people can learn that for free. Yeah, from me. I'm the only person with 30 hours of a structured course on YouTube. What now? No one ever has a clapback or reply when I say, I'm the only person who ever made a 30-hour, 12-week free course on YouTube and 200 pages of free PDF downloads to accompany their course. Because then they're confused because they're like, how do you make money? That undermines you as a course seller. How do you make any money? Like, I was like, gotcha. So yeah, so it's things like that. Like you can do hyper long form and it actually is very successful, and you can put a lot of ads in it. You could also do ad reads for sponsors in it, and you can monetize that. So as a search channel, you definitely got options. You don't have to make something super short. You don't have to make it super long. You can do both and everything in between. So Science of Success Neuro, $25 super chat. Thank you. Hey there. Life is taking me for a huge loop, making moves in a totally different direction. Hence my MIA. Talk to you soon. Keep on keeping on. Boomer. Appreciate you. I do have some boomer energy sometimes. I'll admit it. Let's see. Shark Scrapper says, LOL, when I make this short version of a computer scrap, I get grief or lack of detail. When I make a longer one, more detailed version, I get grief for taking too long. Can't please everyone. Yeah, that's why I just do both. I position off of both. I think that both are valid. I can explain something and make it super simple, super short, or I can go into excruciating, painfully agonizing detail. I can do both. Some people don't believe me when they say, oh, can you even do brevity, Roberto? You're so long-winded. Can you even do brevity? People keep forgetting. I used to make some of the quickest, fastest, shortest videos on a topic that exist. Like, and again, my green screen video is an example of that. Same thing for my video on copyright music on YouTube. It's one of the shorter ones, if not the shortest one, that actually has the legit information. It's something I'm actually very capable of. In fact, one of the hacks I did on the copyright video was I made it the length of a 3-minute song that I used. So like that was kind of the gimmick for that video, was in the length of a song, I will tell you what you need to know about using copyright legally on YouTube. So that was kind of the gimmick. Hey, Melly Cinco. Appreciate the $10 super chat. So Melly Cinco says, Roberto, I gained 100 subs today from a short I uploaded yesterday and it's taken off. Should I keep posting shorts to grow or start pushing long form now if my goal is monetization? From a subscriber standpoint, if you want the subscribers fast, then you push the shorts to keep doing what you're doing to get to the subscriber goal fast. and you can still do long form to get the watch hours. If you are growing a shorts audience, though, you could actually get the watch hours from doing vertical live streams. Vertical live streams will also get to do watch hours, and they will go out to the shorts audience that you just built. So that would be a balanced option for you. But yeah, long form is the way to go for monetization these days. Again, congrats. Good job. Gold star. Speaking of monetization, let's talk a little bit more about your about anyone trying to get the 4,000 watch hours. 4,000 watch hours is approximately 240,000 minutes of watch time. Why did I bring up that's 240,000 minutes of engaged watch time? Well, because if we optimize for getting the watch time, especially now that there are only 5 months before February, I believe, February 27th is when it goes to 8,000 watch hours if you're not in the partner program by then. What our goal should be is in the next 50 to 100 uploads, which would be at this point 10 uploads a month, which I know is a lot, but bear with me. Again, this is where quantity over quality might work out really well. If we do this with long form videos and not live streams, the math is actually very simple. We need to make sure that we get 100,000 engaged views with at least an average view duration of about 3 minutes. Why? Because that'll give us 300,000 watch hours. That engaged watch hours is overkill to make sure we meet the goal. Sorry, not watch hours, 300,000 watch minutes, because 300,000 watch minutes will be overkill for our goal. And so that would roughly translate to us having 5,000 hours of watch time, which is overkill, which means we want overkill. That's good. Because again, that's 300,000 minutes instead of 240,000 minutes. So that's how we're going to do it. So as long as we get about 3 minutes of average view duration, we'll be okay. Now, the average YouTuber can generally, with loosely edited content of acceptable quality, do about 30 to 35% retention rate in terms of average percentage viewed. So that means that our videos should probably be 10 minutes to 12 minutes long. And that would be our sweet spot. The other good news is if we make 10 to 12 minute videos optimized this way, when we do get monetized, we can put mid-roll ads in and make more money off of those videos. So that would be the key. So for your monetization, you now know, oh, I know what my average view duration needs to be for these videos. I know the length I should make these videos now. And so it's like, okay, how many engaged views do I need? 100,000 engaged views. Okay, cool. So that means if I upload 50 videos, AKA in 5 months, that's 10 videos a month, which is basically putting out 2 to 3 videos a week. Like I said, get into the gym 2 to 3 times a week. That means that each of those videos needs to average about 1,000 views, engaged views a piece. And so that shouldn't be too difficult. Excuse me. That was if you're making 100 videos, excuse me, 100,000 views, 50 videos, 10 videos per month. Sorry, excuse me. You need 2,000 engaged views per video. Still not the hardest thing in the world. Might feel like a struggle, but not the hardest thing in the world. The best thing we can do to get those views is to package the topic, title, thumbnail, and timing to do very well for us. So we don't mess around with, oh, if we're trying to get monetized, it's not the most experiment, express yourself time. It's lock in, focus, and if you want to explore and do stuff differently, do that on your TikTok. Do that to feel out the creative thing. If we're trying to get monetized, we got to lock in. We got to focus on one audience. It's not necessarily one topic, but it's one audience and what they care about across topics. We need to make this simple on ourselves. We need to figure out something we can make consistently and sustainably, because we got to make 50 videos in 5 months, and they all have to get at least 3 minutes of average view duration. And we got to get 2,000 views on each and every one of them to pull that off and to get to our monetization. So that's our numbers. We have the exact goal of what we need to do. 50 videos, 2,000 views per video, 100,000 engaged views total. Average view duration of 3 minutes across every video. We know every single aspect of what we need to do now. And then we have to just package the video to get those clicks and views. And then we have to edit and perform the videos to get at least that kind of retention. We know how long they have to be. They have to be 10 to 12 minute videos. And we have to get 3 minutes average view duration out of those 10 to 12 minute videos. So we literally know every single thing we need to do for our long form videos to get to our 4,000 hours of watch time. In theory, if we got 100,000 engaged views, we should have converted 1% of those views to subscribers and gotten our 1,000 subscribers. So we know exactly the formula for long form video to get monetized and to get into the YouTube Partner Program in 5 months. So that is your formula. There's literally a formula for getting monetized. And that's our way to speed run it and get it in 5 months. A lot of people, it takes them a year. We're going to do it in 5 months because clock's ticking. Some of you want to monetize a second channel. This is what you need to do. Some of you need to get your first channel monetized. Your watch hours have ticked away. This is exactly what you need to do. So it's the no BS, no chaser. This is exactly what you need to do. There's never been a true requirement. I mean, in the very, very beginning of YouTube Shorts, you could say this, but currently, Christaholic, there is no requirement of hashtags for long or short form. It's all just based on the video's dimensions, 16:9 for long form, 9:16 for short form, as well as video length. And for video length, 9:16 or 1:1 aspect ratio and under 3 minutes. And that would be a YouTube short. Mr. Urban World says, a lot of my friends started decades ago and now have 500,000 plus subscribers. And I'm the only one in the group that hasn't even started yet. I just need to take action. Yes, you just need to take action. You know, published is better than perfect. You really need to start. Key that says, wow, sounds simple except for when you can't get the views. It does. But again, most people struggle with I can't get the views is they pick topics nobody cares about. They write titles that nobody understands or values. And then they make thumbnails that no one's attracted to. And that's the biggest thing that stops people from getting views. Views is straightforward to solve for. People go, well, Roberto, you don't get the most views in the world. My views take forever because, again, I pick topics based on solving a problem, but I also solve a problem in a very limited domain. If I made videos about something competitively that was also in high demand. Remember, my even interest in hobbies that I can make videos of will not get views because remember, if I made something that's a bigger category than YouTube, it's photography, even wildlife photography. However, the photography I do is not budget friendly. The photography I do is wildly expensive. I'll make more money, but I won't get as many views because I can sell really expensive camera gear to people who can afford it. But that's a small portion of the population, especially in this economy. So most people get views, and I'll tell you the truth. Getting views, if I wanted to get a bunch of views, I know exactly how to make a channel that gets a bunch of views. Even in a tutorial niche, even in a niche where I'm expert in, I know exactly how to get a lot of views. Now, this will not work for everybody, and this won't be everybody's cup of tea. I could make a channel that's actually easy to make videos 3 to 5 times a week from, and people go, Roberto, well, prove it, do it. It's like, no, I already run a 6-figure business. I'm not coming in down and slum it to prove anything. I mean, that's just how it is. I'm just being real with y'all. So like, the thing that I would do though, if I wanted to, and the thing is, I may do this channel in the future for a different reason, by the way. There's a different reason I make this channel, because this channel that I'm going to tell you that I would do would make me a lot of money in brand deals, no matter what. It would actually make me a lot of money in brand deals, ironically. And it would get views. I would make a channel that literally and exclusively is only about free stuff. Literally free stuff. And I could do this every day because I'm really good at it and I know this information better than almost anybody in the world. I would make a YouTube channel and I could get a bunch of views easily. Because one, I can make thumbnails that don't suck. And for most of you, as much as you don't like it, just use AI. If you suck at thumbnails, just use AI. Now the thing is, you offset it by you be on camera in the videos, take a photo of yourself, and then for the rest of the thing, you just use AI. And you just have to start sucking at doing that less so it doesn't look like slop. So that'd be the answer. I'm a Photoshop guy. I've been doing billboards for a living is what I did before. So I could just I don't necessarily need AI, but it is faster sometimes to make thumbnails. I can go either way, but a lot of you, you're not a classically trained designer or photographer. Just use AI and make the thumbnails and be done with it. It's one less barrier to getting views because most normal people don't care that you used AI for a thumbnail. They care about whether it's attractive or not. And whether you, even in your photography, sometimes are attractive will just override everything else. So that's how humans are. Okay. So that's number one. So the topic I would pick is I would just pick free stuff because the strongest words in the English language are now, new, and free. Strongest words in the English language for sales, which is also the same thing as psychology of sales, is attention as well. For attention, now is urgency, new is relevancy and freshness, free is accessibility. So now, new, and free. So most free software, free to play video games, free this, free that, has more attention, more views, and more users than anything else. So I would make a channel that is literally just about finding the best free stuff that exists, mostly on the internet, but it was I would just find free stuff. I could even name the channel Find Free Stuff. And that would allow me to make videos on everything. Best free software for graphic design 2026. Top 10 best free alternatives to Photoshop in 2026. Best free video editor 2026. Best free video editor for PC 2026. Best free screen recorder for PC 2026. Best free screen recorder for Mac 2026. Best free video editor for Mac 2026. Best free video editor for iOS 2026. Best free video editor for Android 2026. Best free video editors for Linux 2026. Best free VPN 2026. 5 best free VPNs for 2026, $0. Best free websites to make money, no credit card required. Best free Best free what? There's several. Oh, best free movies on YouTube. Best free sci-fi movies on YouTube, fall 2026. Best free rom-coms on YouTube, 2026. Best free websites to watch Game of Thrones. Best free websites to watch blah, blah, blah. Tubi versus YouTube. Best free website for blah, blah, blah. So I could just literally find free stuff and make videos about free stuff every day. And it would get a crap ton of views. And think about it. For most of the people doing that content, I have a better camera than them, but it doesn't matter if you have a better camera than them. Your iPhone, if you have a phone, best camera for most people in the entire world. Just get decent microphones. If you don't have a podcast mic like me, DJI Mini and the phone accessory for it, you get a 2-piece kit for that, $48 right now. So I can just do that. I could literally just take a phone, edit this content easily on my phone or on my iPad or whatever, or here at the desk, and I could just best free stuff and literally just show people and screen share and do a listicle of the best free stuff the internet has to offer. I could do it on my green screen. Best free stuff, best free stuff, best free stuff, and just do individual and listicle videos, and everybody would watch it because, oh, I clicked here for a list of free stuff. Oh, wow, this guy always finds the best free stuff. Oh, wow, this is the best channel on YouTube to find free stuff. Wow, this guy only talks about free stuff. I love it. Oh, wow, I know this channel and it doesn't sell me anything because everything here is just free stuff. That's awesome. And then it's like, okay, Roberto, well, how would you make all this money on sponsor stuff, or how do you make money besides the ad revenue if it's all free stuff? That's the best part. There's so many brands out there that have a free tier or a free trial or a free offer of their thing, and then it's literally still best free stuff. I can even do, and because I cover the best free stuff. If they have a free trial or a free version or a free offer, I can make a dedicated video instead of a shout out video. I make a dedicated video for them, and I get to charge more for the brand deal because it's a dedicated video. If I do an integration and I do an ad read, I can actually do more than one ad read in a video, not promise them exclusivity on ad read in a video, and put them in a listicle video, tell people that part is sponsored, and then boom, double sponsor money in a single video. And it's a channel that can sustain daily content, which means I can sell more inventory. Boom, the ultimate YouTube channel. But again, most people can't pull that off, and most people won't want to, because the only way that really makes it work and scales is you have to do that video. You have to do that channel daily. You do have to batch record it. You'd have to do that channel daily. But I know exactly that's the YouTube channel that would get views, and therefore that's the YouTube channel that would make ad revenue. And a lot of the topics would, some of them would be high ad revenue topics. And so boom, but I'd have a variety of topics. I would get to cross over a variety of different things, and I would have an almost endless supply of sponsors for that channel, and it just works. And then there's a lot of things for affiliate links and commissions that give you bounties for people just signing up for a free trial. Amazon does a lot of that. Free trial this, free trial this, free trial this, $5 commission, $10 commission on the free trials. So I could literally just get people to literally sign up for free trials of everything, and I would get the bounties on that. And so that's how that channel would work. And again, it's a great idea, but the way the channel works is it has to be daily uploads, and most of you can't do that. But that's the channel. That channel literally only works as daily uploads. But again, I'm telling you that the fact that I could put free in every title is why that channel would get views. So again, you have to figure out what will get views. And the thing is, there's a psychology to getting views. Views are topics, titles, thumbnails, and timing. And so the thing is, how do you take advantage of optimizing each and every one of those things? There's a skill for choosing topics. Most people, but I'm passionate about this. And so then they don't get views because there's not a market, there's not audience for the thing they're passionate about, or they're not the best at that thing to attract the audience that they're passionate about, or they're not knowledgeable enough to attract the audience that they're passionate about. So like the topic decides how many views you can get and how quickly you can get those views. Like I said, my green screen video got a bunch of views. It just didn't get them quickly. So I know how that works. Thumbnails, you guys, you got to be either a good graphic designer or photographer. And if you're not, you have to use AI at this point, or you just won't get views, because if you don't, somebody else will. So it's a competition, straight up, not going to lie. So there's topics, there's titles. A lot of you are not great at communicating. The titles need to be simple. Shorter words, shorter sentences, all of those things make a difference. But also, is it interesting? Are you communicating it well? So again, a lot of you, AI could help massage your titles, but you have to actually have something good or worth talking about. And a lot of you, if you know, sometimes you're more passionate about something than you are good at it or knowledgeable about it, or it's just not that interesting to a broad amount of people. So, I mean, that's a thing. And then there's timing. A video that I did that got more views than I had subscribers at the time. It got like 250,000 views in like a week or two. It was timing. I had access to a product before 99% of the biggest YouTubers had access to a product in the tech niche, because I was at an event where that product was, and I didn't have to sign an embargo. All the big YouTubers had to be part of an embargo on the Microsoft Surface Studio, but I wasn't under contract because I didn't have a deal with Microsoft, and I was at Adobe Max, and the product was there on the showroom floor. So I made a video about it as a hands-on review earlier than every big YouTuber except for iJustine and the reporters at CNET. So I was one of only 3 videos that existed for almost a week or two before any of the big YouTubers could make their video. And then, boom, instant viral views, because I could make a video because I had access physically, timing-wise, to something they didn't. and they had a contract holding them back, and I didn't. Timing. I won on timing alone. I didn't make the best hands-on review of that product. I beat them because I was early. I was one of the first 3 people, so I was early. Being first and early is the single greatest advantage that exists. So like on timing alone, you can get views. If your thumbnail is so drastically interesting that people cannot help themselves, you can get views. If your topic is interesting, or you're early to your topic, or you're breaking news, you can get views. If your title is too good to ignore, you can get views. An example would be, do you know, like some people's entire YouTube career was because they were the first person or very early to show up every single day and play a brand new video game and become the most reliable content creator for that video game, or they would not have a career. They were just early to something really dope and did it more than other people. Yeah, so Urban Noise Music says that's brilliant because it instantly appeals to people. Yeah, the free stuff the free stuff channel, that would work. Instantaneously, that would work. Mr. Urban World says if someone could get their hands on the upcoming iPhone Fold, I believe a channel surrounding that phone with daily tutorials could turn into something big. Absolutely. Especially if they were one of the first people and one of the first people to cover a specific thing about that phone. If somebody gets that the week of and then just makes daily content on every single thing about that phone, they will get views as long as the thumbnails are good. As long as the thumbnails are good, they will get views. Yes, and as long as they cover the everything someone needs to know about that, absolutely. Someone who covers like constantly the accessories, because we've never had a foldable iPhone before. Oh, here's the best screen protector for it. Here are the best 5 screen protectors for the iPhone Fold. Here are the or they're probably gonna call it the iPhone Ultra or something. So, oh, here are the best screen protectors for the iPhone Ultra. Here are the best foldable phone cases for the iPhone Ultra. Here is the best charger for the quick charger for the iPhone Ultra. Here's the best wireless charger for the iPhone Ultra. Here is the best way to protect your iPhone Ultra from this thing, this thing, this thing. That person, oh, that person will win. That person will win, 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 no matter what. Absolutely. Wait, is someone complaining? I can't believe there's someone who's theoretically complaining about me, telling them the strategy that I would use. But it's whatever. Thank you, Keith, that for the quick super chat there. Appreciate you. And then our friend lead attorney dropping some jewels. Speaking of dropping gems, appreciate you. Also, our friend and moderator Doug Hewson in the house dropping some jewels. Same for our friend Larry from Home Rapid Repair. Appreciate you guys, really do. That's dope. Thank you so much. But yeah, Shark Strapper says, Roberto, you don't need to go to the gym. Just bench press or do curls with that camera lens. You know what? Like the camera lens is expensive, and it's more expensive because the gym membership you need to carry it is not included. So yeah, no, this thing is heavy. I'm not gonna lie, this is a lot. It's got a I put a dual battery grip on it as well. Like, yeah, no, this thing is heavy, and you do not want to hit yourself in the head with this thing. That's why I'm bracing it. You don't want to accidentally whack yourself here. You will get a concussion. I'm not playing with you. Like, it's that serious. This thing, if you got whacked with this thing, you should get checked out. Like, it could do some real damage and knock some stuff loose and everything like that. That thing is dangerous. So yeah, I'm not playing. So yeah, that would be very serious. You do not want that. If you drop that on your knee or on your foot, it would do damage. You would probably fracture something. Yeah, so you liked Urban Noise. You liked my ideas for like the free stuff videos. Yeah, people would like look for that, and people, if they saw it in their feed, it's not just that they'd search for it; they'd see it in their feed and go, "Yeah, I need to know." Yep. Oh, there's a free version of that. There's a free version. Oh, yeah. Let me get that. So people would absolutely click on. That's why I know that that would work. There's a version of that that works on this channel even right now. There's a version of that that works for this channel. So I already know that it's a proven idea. Urban Noise Music says, these things have been giving me better understanding with running my own analytics through ChatGPT. What titles and topics are people responding to? Yeah, the topics that people respond to are things you definitely want to look at. Hey, we got Cake Pop Claire in the house. Appreciate you. Yeah, so you want to, I call that verifying a video idea. So yeah. We got Hammered Headlines. I love that name, Hammered Headlines. That's cool. Thank you for all the knowledge, Roberta. Appreciate you. We got Creighton TV in the house, dropping some jewels as well. Appreciate you guys. Yes, that lens, Artist Haven, could theoretically do astrophotography. However, the aperture on it is not necessarily my ideal for it. And less telescoping, I think it's good for astrophotography as far as taking shots of the moon. But for a galaxy and stars, I'd actually probably want to use one of my wide angle lenses. So I'd probably use the 14 millimeter G Master. In fact, I think this one's the 24 millimeter right here. Yeah, I think this one's the 24 millimeter. This one is the 35 millimeter. Yeah, I'd probably be using the 14. Is that the 14 up there? No, I don't believe it is. I think the 14 is on another camera. Maybe the 14 is around here somewhere. Actually, is this the 14? Because now I'm driving myself crazy. Nope, this is the 24. So this is the 24. I have the 14 millimeter around here somewhere. Maybe it's in my camera bag still. So yeah, I've got that's the 24. This is other one's the 35. That's the 70 to 200. That's the 135. That's the 24 to 70, I think. That is the 12 to 24. I'll have to see what I did with the 14. I think the 14 might be in my bag. I hope it is. I have to look. So yeah, let's see. Cake Pop Claire says, I was filming a movie the other day and ran into the camera. Would have knocked me out. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Oh, we got Ty West. Says, I love your channel. Thank you. Appreciate you. We got Boss Hog 1000 dropping some jewels in the chat. Appreciate you. Do you have a pancake lens? I think I might still have a pancake lens. I did. It may be the one that got stolen from my brother. I'd have to check and see if I still have a pancake lens. But I know I did have a pancake lens. It might be... I might still have a 20 millimeter pancake lens. I used to have a 20 millimeter pancake lens. The 14 millimeter is not a pancake lens. Giorgio Tech says, Roberto, you are the best and so smart. Love that you help people. Keep at it, bro. Appreciate you. Steve Ram. Big YouTuber in the house. Appreciate you, Steve Ram. Steve was a coaching client of mine. He runs a very, very successful YouTube channel of his own. What are you at these days, Steve? 700,000 subscribers, 800,000 subscribers, 1 million. Like, you're getting up there. Appreciate you, buddy. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it, Clara. I ended up getting like some other equipment when I filed the insurance claim. So like whenever camera gear gets stolen, The good news is I have insurance. So I filed an insurance claim and I got some other stuff. And I think what ended up happening was I ended up getting this DJI Nano and the DJI Osmo as part of some of the gear that was replaced by the insurance. So it all works out in the end. Got Living with Parkinson, 5 Joules. Appreciate you, man. Go team. Yeah, absolutely. Mississippi Family Homestead. Appreciate you. Doug Houston says, I have a 22 millimeter pancake lens on my main studio camera. Yeah, there used to be a 20 millimeter pancake lens on this. I decided to switch it out to the 24 G Master to also just get the look to be more consistent with this camera. So if you look, when I switch these camera angles, it's actually really consistent. And that's because the settings are very similar. The sensors are really similar. The color science is very similar, but so is the quality of the glass. And that makes a difference. Yeah, that was a different incident. The one in Florida where I had $10,000 worth of gear stolen in Florida. That was the 24 to 70 millimeter lens got stolen, along with 2 Sony A7 Mark IVs. I did get those replaced back then. So I do have those replacement A7R4 still. The 24 millimeter, 24 to 70 millimeter lens, I ended up getting the Mark II replacement for that. And then what was the other lens? I think the other lens was my 24 millimeter. So obviously that got replaced. So I think those were the 2 lenses that got back then. Stay hydrated. Yep, I'm trying. I've got the ginger ale and I got the water. Probably go for a walk after this. Living with Parkinson says, I actually subscribe to Steve Ram. His channel is wonderful. Yep, absolutely. Hammered Headline says, hey, Roberto, what streaming service do you use for your live streams? I've been watching you for the last year or so, grown so much from your site. Thanks for what you do. Also, shout out, really appreciate it. Thanks for the shout out, really appreciate it. Absolutely. I'm using StreamYard. I believe we have a link for it in the description, or mods. If you could get the affiliate link for StreamYard, that'd be dope. And yeah, it's been actually performing pretty decently. They fixed a lot of the problems with it. So, you know, it's not the cheapest offer in the world, but it works out pretty well, and a lot of us use it. K-Pop Claire says, just checked, and my pancake lens is also a 24 millimeter, no zoom, but has a really great aperture and depth of field. Interesting. I think my 20 millimeter pancake had a power zoom. So it technically, depending on the camera, if the camera has a digital power zoom, it would do that, but that's within the Sony system. So that's how I was doing it. And that's what was working before. So yeah. Miami Cloud, hey Roberto, listening while I script, posting 2 longs and 8 shorts this week. Hopefully get monetized before the 8K requirement, but I don't plan to stop, so I'll get there either way. Appreciate you, man. That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's those 8,000 watch hours that they're looking at getting people in February. That one's gonna be rough. That's why we're focusing on the different ways to monetize for the small creators now, and also working on a plan for people's watch hours. In fact, I think what I'm going to do next week is next week's live stream for Monetization Monday will specifically look at just all of the barriers to getting monetized as a small YouTuber and breaking all of them down, and looking at the not only the math, but also how to plan the content strategy for launching a YouTube channel and doing YouTube videos faster and better and more effectively. Because I think the barrier now is, even if you guys knew, okay, this is how much content I should make, this is what I should make my content about, the day-to-day process of filming and editing as quickly as possible, publishing, and then to struggle to get views with it and do the packaging. So I think what we'll do next week is we'll go over and I'll demonstrate for you how to make thumbnails very quickly in multiple niches and multiple types of thumbnails. I might even give you guys a prompt for how to prompt thumbnails and show you guys some examples of that. Because I think for most of you, your biggest problem is titles and thumbnails. So maybe next week, what we'll do is we'll focus on how to get views so that you can get the watch hours. Because I think for a lot of you, it's like your struggle and your frustration is you can't get views. So next week, we will talk about the stats, the math, and the plan for monetization, but we'll focus it through the lens of the barrier to getting views. And we'll do like a deep dive on that. And I'll show you how even in ChatGPT, you can make really effective, really efficient thumbnails if you only knew how to instruct it properly. I may have something that I can get you guys. I made something a while back called AI creator prompts, and it still works really good with ChatGPT. So I did like 200 ChatGPT creator prompts. But what I'm going to be working on this week is markdown files that basically can be even more advanced, detailed than prompts, and it'll be full-on instructions. It's a full-on system, and then you can use that and then put prompts into that system through ChatGPT, and then you'd be able to have it help you make better titles, thumbnails, or workshop your content by kind of approaching it in a little bit of like, well, what would somebody who understood what Roberto understands, like what would Roberto do? And so if I make markdown files with detailed instructions for the AI, then even with your prompts not being perfect, it'll produce better results than you would normally get on your own, because it's going to, at least inside of that chat dialogue, have the rule set from my instructions, and they'll be extremely detailed. So it's much better than just a prompt now. And then you'd be able to like make better titles or thumbnails or workshop your ideas a little bit better than you would on your own using ChatGPT. So I think if that's something you guys are interested in, that could be the focus for next week. Is that something you guys want? You can let me know in the comments. You can let me know in the chat if that's something that you guys would want, because for some of you, that's probably a really good way to get you around the issue of, oh, I can't get views. Well, this would probably solve for that. Yep. Cake Pop Clara says, been streaming Fortnite for 2 weeks now. I have almost 200 qualified watch hours since I started. For 2 weeks, that's great. So you like are on track to get your hours if you keep going. So that's awesome. Yeah, you're saying you guys definitely want that, Gen X. Okay, cool. We can do that. Yes, we 100% want that. Not just Roberto, but the chat is also giving lots of good tips. Glad I made it today. Yeah, we have one of the greatest chats. Like even right now in the stream across all 6 platforms, we have over 300 of y'all watching. I don't know how many people are watching on YouTube. Maybe it's like 60 of y'all watching on YouTube or something. I don't know. Doug would probably know. But across all the platforms, we have 320 of you watching right now. So that's pretty dope. And if you're watching, please drop a like on whatever platform. It does help with the algorithm. So whatever platform you're on, if you drop a like, that's super helpful. That's incredibly helpful. Let's see here. Also, for those of you who are interested in brand deals specifically and monetizing with brand deals, we do have a training on that in Awesome Creator Academy that we're doing. So we are doing a challenge in the academy where what we've been doing is, oh, excuse me. In the academy, what we've been doing is we have a challenge that starts this week where we are doing a 6-week training on Tuesdays, where we specifically focus on getting creators their first brand deals if they don't have them already. We're building out a system for you around that and helping people close their first brand deals if they haven't. And if you've already closed your first brand deal, we're helping people with how to turn those into long-form sponsored relationships, or how to expand that, or how to increase their rates and their sponsor rates, because we're going into Q4. This is the big season for sponsors. This is the highest paid season of the year for YouTubers in Q4, which starts in October. So before October, we want to get people squared away on brand deals. So if this is something you're interested in, go to awesomecreatoracademy.com/join and join the pro group membership. Or if you want to be a VIP or elite, we have some extra coaching involved with that. We meet 2 hours a week on 2 sessions, 1 hour each session, Tuesdays and Thursdays around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. You're going to learn more about that later tonight. And I think it's going to be really good for a lot of you who have struggled with getting sponsors and UGC when it comes to your content, which is the main way that creators do become full-time creators. It's usually not YouTube's ad revenue. It's usually the sponsorships that really do it for people and take them over the edge when it comes to, oh, I need to make real money doing this. That's usually how it happens for people. So I would definitely highly encourage you guys, if that's something you're interested in, to check it out. So if you go to awesomecreatoracademy.com/join, I believe that's linked in the description. Also, the mods can help out with putting any links to that in the chat, and you'll be able to join that. If you missed this first week, we also have the replay from this challenge and training available. And we also still do Q&A every week as well. We'll be doing those on Thursdays when we're not doing the challenge as well. So that's going to give you the opportunity to ask any and all questions you have about content, or even something that you didn't remember to ask earlier in the week. And of course, we have the private group where you can always post and ask questions. So that's something we're going to be doing. And I think it's going to be incredibly helpful for a lot of people, because I know that people feel like brand deals are this mystery, this black box. But since I do YouTube education, I can tell you anything about it because I'm not really competing in a category with any of you. So that's one of the, like, why would you teach people how to be your competition? Because I don't have competitors. Even among the other YouTube educators, I don't think of them as competitors. My actual competitor now is the college system, believe it or not. Like, I consider my rival to be the college education system, because universities are now trying to offer a degree in content creation, and it'll be professors who've never grown a YouTube channel, never monetized, never done this for a decade, and they'll be giving out degrees in it. So like, even if I used to ever think about anyone else as my competition, like, that's over. And now it's just the college system of, creator education or creator economy degrees. That would be where I think of as my competition now, is the university system, and making an alternative to that system. So for me, that's how I look at it. Again, other people would see it possibly differently, but that's on them. I view it from that standpoint of, I see myself directly creating a parallel offer and economy to the traditional education model. And that's how I view myself. So just wanted to let you guys know that that's going on, give you the opportunity, if you're interested at all in that, to join us. I think it'll be dope. Let's see. What else is going on? Got Mr. Rightway. Appreciate you. Yep. Thank you for dropping that link, Larry. Larry's actually a member. Thank you, Doug. Yeah, Matt Miller is a member as well. Yes, Mondays we will do thumbnails and titles, and I'll show you guys some hacks for that in ChatGPT. We'll probably make it a workshop day. So yeah, we'll probably make it a workshop day. We can even like call it a free course if you want, because it'll probably be the equivalent of a free course to show you guys how to do the titles and thumbnails and use ChatGPT to your advantage. And again, if I have it ready, I will, because I think my creator prompts product is like $9 or $19. I forget. It's one of those. It has a 9 in it. And has over like 200 ChatGPT prompts. we'll literally just add the markdown files for you, and we'll give you skill markdown files for titles, thumbnails, and workshopping topics. And it will help you. It won't do all the work for you, but it will make the quality of your outputs infinitely better instantly. I'm not joking. Because it's a thing I built for my own system. I use 1 of 10 a lot. It's just that it doesn't take markdown files, not yet anyway. But I made a system that can take markdown files because for something else that I was building on the back end for my own software, I wanted to have the ability to use markdown files for an internal knowledge base for training data. So I was doing something a little fancy, and I was like, oh, you know what? This would be useful for content creators if I do this, if I do this, if I do this. So yeah, so I don't mind doing that at all. We could definitely make that happen for you. Yep, absolutely. Looking forward to the challenge. Thank you, Mississippi Homestead. Appreciate you. Hammerhead Lines says, I'm very interested, just started my channel a few months ago, but I'm very interested in learning as much as I can. Things like this live stream are perfect. Yep, absolutely. Urban Noise Music says, I've always been a little bit intimidated by brand deals. Yeah, that's pretty normal. A lot of people are intimidated by brand deals. The negotiating part is actually the thing that trips a lot of people up. A lot of people don't know how to price themselves. They don't know how to negotiate. They don't know how to read a contract. They don't know how to package. They don't know how to make sure that the payment methods are highly specific in the negotiation and in the deal. They don't know how to negotiate getting paid sooner rather than later. A lot of brands will try to get you to do net 90 or net 60. The best thing for you is net 30 or net 15. You should probably put a kill fee in your contract. A lot of people don't even know what that is. Again, I worked in the marketing and advertising, and I worked at an ad agency, so things like kill fees were normal for us to put into a contract. So like that's a carryover in contract negotiations I do now, and I teach creators that contract negotiation because if for no other reason, through no fault of your own, a project gets canceled, you should get paid for the time you invested in the work you did up until then because you were acting in good faith. And if they pull the project, they should pay you a kill fee. So like putting that in place means that the brand has a reason to follow through with the commitment. So that's something you should really be looking at. A lot of people won't even talk about that. So I teach some of these things differently because I also came from the industry side of the house and not just the creator side of the house. So it's just something that most people would not think of. Appreciate you, Larry. Yep. So yeah, so there's just a lot of these different things. Like being a content creator is harder than people make it out to be. A lot of the young people, they grew up in the culture, so they ended up in a situation by growing up in the culture where this is the like coolest, funnest, most novel thing in the world to them, but also because they're young, most of them haven't done it for 10 years or anything. So like there is a very loose and a lack of professionalism when you hear a lot about YouTube because of the young people doing it. And I don't begrudge them that. It's just how it is. A lot of us back in the freelancer era were like that too, as far as freelance photographers and freelance designers. And we were like young and stupid and arrogant and thought we knew everything and that we were all God's gift to creativity. And a lot of young YouTubers, even a lot of younger YouTube educators, they'll be like that. They'll do the whole guru thing. Those of us who are a little older know that the answer is not to be a guru, but to be a guide and to like truly embrace the calling of education, which is very different. Like I came to content creation later. I came to content creation seriously at almost 30, 28, right? I was almost 30. So I've been doing this quite a long time. And the thing about it is, I had a background in education from my corporate career because in addition to everything else I was doing, they made me take on our contract work because we got a government contract to teach the software that I was an expert in because government money. So we took the money. So the company, obviously they didn't give me anything super extra. They gave me like a small bonus, but they did not give me a percentage of the contract, which is really irritating. But say Libby, being an employee on salary will do that for you. So I didn't get a commission of the contract, which is really annoying. But I would do training for the military in various software that I had expertise in for people's different MS. So like whatever, based on whatever their MS is, it would be a different thing. So for a lot of the press corps, for example, we like obviously taught them Photoshop and taught them web design. So the thing that I would say about that is that corporate background of training. I also did sales training. So that actually helped with the brand deals. It's like I did sales training, haha. So like I would know how to do that. So those experiences in corporate America actually conditioned me for the serious side of YouTube and the business side of YouTube because I had that background. Same thing for the marketing and advertising. It taught me the psychology of sales, taught me about branding, the advertising side and doing the billboards that preps you to be a good thumbnail artist because you have to do very specific things that are very similar to people driving down the road, is similar to them scrolling on their phone, believe it or not, in terms of how long you have to get their attention. It's a very similar thing. So are some of the accessibility rules around it. So those things are informative and those kind of gave me a background, and it also made this like more interesting for me because I was familiar with it. So I came to YouTube a lot later and I came to it serious minded because of this previous experience I had as an adult working in the world in a different career that was very similar. And so I brought some of those standards, some of that learning to what I do with content creation, and it's benefited me ever since. And I feel like everything happens for a reason. I think that there's a purpose behind everything because I think that everything I went through put me in a position to be, a successful educator for the creator community when it all comes down to it. And I don't think I'd be as good at all of these things if I didn't have those different experiences in my corporate life. So, everyone always goes, "Oh, I wish I started sooner. Oh, I wish I had just done this younger." And to some degree, that's true. But for me, I feel like there was a benefit to coming to it older. I think that experience is the best teacher in the world. And I think that success that comes at a decent pace can sometimes be better than wild early success that could make you too arrogant or make you unprofessional or give you a big head. I think that it's great that young people have a lot of opportunities, but sometimes success, there is a such thing as being a victim of your own success. And I think that that can happen to you when you're a young person. It could happen to you as not a young person, but I think you're more likely to be vulnerable to it if you don't have experience and hardship and grit in your background, that you could fall victim to that. And it means that you don't learn how to take a punch properly. So it's something I've been thinking about for a while. Is just like, I think that we're underrated. Those of us who are like in our 30s, 40s, 50s, I think that it's underrated how much we bring to the table of content creation because it's thought as a young person's game. And largely, if you, in terms of being famous and being like 10 million subscribers, sure. Sure. For the most part, it is fine. But I believe that the creator economy middle class will be built by people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, etc. Like, I genuinely believe that. I believe the outlier famous creators will always be people in their teens and 20s for the most part. And then if they stick with it, they'll end up being in their 30s and 40s if they stick with it. But those people, those hyper people that every single person on earth knows that are mega famous, those will always be people initially that started and got early success and fame in their teens and 20s. The middle class of the creator economy will be built by serious people that come to this starting in their 30s and 40s and 50s. That's what I believe. Hammerhead Lines says, I could tell you're professional the minute you said net 30. I've worked in sales and management for over 15 years, and now I'm trying to make it work on YouTube. Actually, you're very well positioned with your experience there. That'll definitely help you in things like brand deal negotiations, the salesmanship side. Even from the branding that you're doing, there's some experience overlap there because Hammered Headlines is actually really good branding, honestly. So I think that your experience will translate very well to YouTube in certain domains. So yeah, I think that's going to be helpful. At Roberta Blake, is the Create Something Awesome ebook being updated as things change with the platform? I have the physical book, but I was thinking of getting the digital as well. The ebook is going to be updated, and so basically everyone who gets the ebook is going to get the updated second edition of the ebook, which is going to come out. And that will include, I think, at least 4 completely new chapters because of updates and things that changed. I'm glad I waited on it, especially with these new YouTube revisions. So the thing is, this is going to likely roll out early spring of next year as far as the second edition. It's probably going to be early spring, if not summer. And then I'm hopefully releasing my second book soon after that next year. I decided to give it more time to cook. I was going to release it this year, and then I needed more time for it to cook. So that one's probably the end of fall next year before Vid Summit. Or maybe by summer VidCon, but the second edition of my first book will be coming out next year, and everyone who has the ebook should be getting that second edition as well. And the second edition will have the audio book, hopefully narrated by me, or a version of it that's narrated by me. So that's going to be actually really good. And we'll also be releasing a second edition of the first book in print. Now, for people who bought the print book, the thing we're going to do is we're going to do a condensed edition of the chapters, or the meat of those chapters, as articles that I'll be writing. So that people like, well, I bought the hardcover and I shouldn't have to buy again to be able to get these updates of this values. They'll get a version of that value through articles that will write, supporting articles I write, that'll get at kind of the same meat, just delivered in a different format instead of having to be part of an entire book. So they'll be getting standalone articles that encompass the value of the new chapters and the updated chapters. So I will be doing that through articles and also through my newsletter. So that's something that people who bought the physical copy of the book won't have to miss out on in terms of the learnings and the value. The physical copy of the book will serve as them having an artifact, both in terms of the first edition and if they choose to support and buy the second edition. So there'll be that value. And then obviously the ebook will be the thing that gets the Whisper updates for the second edition in terms of the Whisper updates. And then, of course, in the future when, like with audiobooks, I have to see how they handle audiobook updates. That may require like, oh, you buy another version of the audio if it updates, but something like that. The value for people, if they aren't able to get a second edition of like the audiobook or something, will be that a lot of these things will be covered in videos and podcast episodes in their own way. So, and then eventually what I will be doing is I will be making a summary of the first edition of my ebook here on YouTube that people will be able to read watch/listen to me do my own book summary, and it exists on YouTube of the first edition. And then I'll do a book summary of the second edition, which will include the new chapters. And those will be available on free to get the gist of what was in the book. But again, it'll be a summary of, so that's kind of like the way that I'm going to do it. Oh, excuse me. So that was a great question, but yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. Cozy BL Recap says, can't wait. Getting it as well as gifting it to my friends group. We all love you and do and try and support as we can. Oh, I appreciate that. That's sweet of you. Yeah, no, that's pretty dope. Thank you. Oh, we got Ryan in the house. Hey, what's up, everybody? Cool. But yeah. So yeah, no, that was a great question about the book. Yeah, but there's a lot of new material I want to cover in the book. There's a lot I've learned as a writer since I published that book as well. So I definitely think that it'll be good to be updating it very soon. And the big YouTube changes, these will be the most significant YouTube changes. So this will be the meaningful time to update it. Updating it before now, it's like I feel like God was looking out for me, because updating it before now, I'd be like, oh, and here's YouTube with these big changes. Like, so yeah. But books are great artifacts because, again, the main thing I stuck to was principles and things not likely to change for a while. The main thing that changed in the time since I wrote the book was the AI stuff, because I wrote the book before AI, which also is to my benefit as a writer. That, oh, no one can sit there and they can whine about it because, like, I wrote it before AI. So yeah. And because I wrote the first edition before AI, when people read it, they'd be like, guys, I wrote the first edition before AI, so you can't harangue me about the second edition and go, oh, is this AI? It's like, guys, I literally am just updating the book I already wrote before ChatGPT. It's like, chill out. So yeah. So there'll be the updates. Most of the chapters themselves don't need massive updates. There are a couple that do. And then there are the 4 or so additional chapters I want to add. So those will be completely fresh material. And obviously there'll be a dedicated chapter about the nature of like all this AI stuff. And then some of the chapters have to be addressed for the purposes of, oh, AI exists, so I have to frame this way or that way. So yeah. Am I speaking at Vid Summit this year? Gen X Nuts, I am speaking at Vid Summit this year. I'm actually opening the event this year. What I'm going to try to do before my session is, my session's at 8 o'clock on the first day after registration. So there's the registration day, then there's the actual first day of the event. So the first day of the event, I'm going to try to get as many people as I can to wake up at 6:30 in the morning and go for a run with me that we finish by 7 o'clock, so that everyone can go shower and then go to my 8 o'clock keynote. That's the plan. We'll see if it happens, and we'll see how it works. And then the goal is theoretically to wake up everybody at 6:30 every morning to go for a run with me the entire conference. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. We'll see if it works out. Hopefully a couple of you are at Vid Summit and you'll go for a run with me in the morning, because I think it'll be really good for everybody. And you all get to see how deadly serious I am about this concept of like taking the fitness part of all of this seriously. Y'all will get to see how crazy serious I actually am about this fitness thing if y'all literally get to see me wake up with y'all, get out there at 6:30 in the morning going for a run. Y'all will see I'm not playing. So that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. Can you imagine like the survivors from the running with Roberto? Can you imagine the survivors like, yeah, guys, he's really serious. He's really into this whole fitness journey thing. He wasn't playing. He like ran us ragged. Like he ran us on this freaking 2-mile run, and then that man had us in his keynote right afterward. Like, do you imagine how wild that's gonna be? The photos, the Instagram stories, the selfies are like, yeah, Roberto almost killed us on this like 2-mile run, and then and before Vid Summit. Like, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think like it's like people are, all right, guys, we got to get this run in and we got to finish because keynote's at 8. I need to get you all back so you can shower, get something to eat, get some breakfast and everything like that, and head to the keynote. I got to go shower. I've got to go get into my keynote early. So it's like we got to finish this up by 7 and get back to the hotel. So yeah, we're going to run at a decent pace. I'm not going to kill anybody. It's going to be like, we'll keep it at a 9 or 10 minute per mile pace to make it like, and people who want to walk, they can walk it, and they can walk a single mile if that's what they're up to. Because again, we're only going to be out there for 30 minutes total, unless people show up like early to stretch with me or something. So like, because I'm going to be up there crack of dawn. So like, we're gonna like, if it comes down to it and I feel we're pressed for time, we'll just do 1 mile. We'll just do at least a mile. We'll do at least a mile. I'd like us to do 2 miles, but we'll at least do a mile. And so we'll go and we'll do a mile or 2. We'll do a mile or 2. We'll come back to the hotel. Everybody can shower up, be fresh, get some food before the keynote, and we'll make it happen. So that is my plan. And so that's what I would like to see happen. And yeah, I think it'll be fun for us. I think it'll be fun for everybody involved to just go for a run first thing in the morning and be jazzed. And everything. The main thing is just don't party too hard at the welcome party the night before. Everybody, we'll be okay. You know, I think y'all be all right if we can get y'all in bed by 10 o'clock, not to have you all out there too late. I think it'll be all right. But speaking of being in bed by 10 o'clock. Oh yeah, it's about that time. So we're gonna go ahead and close it up with that. It was fun hanging with y'all tonight. Appreciate all of you. Love all of you doing the super chats. Oh, JK Math says just joined Awesome Creator Academy. Appreciate you. That's awesome. We cannot wait to have you there. We'll have you there for tomorrow's office hours, hopefully. So yeah. So that's amazing. But anyway, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to go wrap up some things. Remember, you can find out more at awesomecreatoracademy.com/join. And you're going to learn a little bit more about that here on the exit video. But you guys have a great night wherever you all. Be safe. Stay awesome. And I'll catch you next time. Take care. Becoming a content creator can be a very lonely process and adventure, but it doesn't have to be. When I first got started going from 0 to 100,000 subscribers, I had to do it all by myself. I didn't have a community of like-minded and like-hearted creators to talk to or to ask for advice, and I certainly didn't have a mentor to guide me along the way. I built the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group because when I was getting started, what would have meant the world to me is not to have to struggle alone when it comes to being a full-time content creator. If I had had a community of creators that I could talk to and share information with, I would have avoided a lot of mistakes in my early career, and there would have been opportunities with brand deals where I would have gotten a better understanding of how to negotiate, and I wouldn't have undersold myself. I wouldn't have been taken advantage of in those early situations. So in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group, myself and our co-instructor Andy Rivera, we meet twice a week for office hours with our creators, and we share information, we talk about how we're building our creator businesses, and we offer constructive criticism and critique on the things that we're working on for our projects. You'll be part of a community of usually around 100 like-minded creators who are taking this seriously just like you are. You'll also have all access as a pro group member to all of our past, present, and future courses, training, templates, digital downloads, and swipe files. You have full access to our creator blueprints where you'll see our systems and the frameworks that we use to execute. You know, you always fall or rise to the standard of your systems. A lot of people really underestimate how important that is. We have digital download templates that can help you so you don't have to start with a blank canvas. These done for you files are actually incredibly helpful, especially for things like your thumbnails, your media kits, and anything you need for your branding as a content creator to look professional. We have email swipe files that help you with reaching out to brands. We have great information in helping you price yourself and build your packages appropriately. And remember, as part of the pro group, you have the opportunity to ask questions from myself and all the other creators participating. And so this means that if you need to ask questions about a negotiation or a brand deal, there's something you're not sure about, you're trying to find a better monetization opportunity with merch or affiliates, you have people who have done it before, who are already making money, that you can reach out to for advice. As I said, when I was starting out and I was flying solo, this is the thing that I wish I'd had the opportunity to be a part of, and it would have made all the difference in the world in helping me be an even more successful content creator. If you have questions, you can always reach out via support. We're happy to help you figure out if the pro group is right for you. Also, we do have the opportunity if you become a VIP member, if you also would like quarterly one-on-one coaching with me directly. Now go out there and create something awesome today, and hopefully we'll see you in the pro group. Take care.